Chapter 1006. The beauty smiled. Don't worry, it's just a curse. I'll be able to get rid of it soon. Yang Hongwu said confidently. Although the curse was powerful, it wasn't a threat to him. As long as he had a breakthrough, it wouldn't be a problem for him to get rid of the curse. Of course, it was impossible for him to do that now. After all, he didn't have much time. Of course, there wasn't anything to worry about. Since the heavenly region and ancient region hadn't completely merged, Guan Tiantao's influence in the heavenly region couldn't reach the ancient region on a large scale. As for the Tai true god behind him, there was no need to worry. After all, there were restrictions in the ancient region and heavenly region. Even if the other party was a Tai true god, they couldn't go against the rules. Moreover, he had the life seal in his hand. It was a powerful treasure. Once it was fully unleashed, it could withstand a blow from Tai true god. You can't be careless about the curse. Bai Qi said, it's not easy to get rid of a curse from an invincible great emperor using his own life. It will affect your cultivation in the future. Moreover, it's easy to provoke your inner demons at the crucial moment. Secondly, this curse can let those who have the Guan family's bloodline sense your existence. Therefore, once the heavenly region and ancient region completely merge, you'll be hunted down by the Guan family of the heavenly region. Then what should we do? Old ancestor, do you think that Yang Hongwu can get rid of the curse? Bai Yiran asked worriedly. Bai Qi shook his head. No, although I'm an invincible great emperor, I don't know much about curses. Therefore, I can't get rid of it. However, if we can find the Miao family, we can find a way to get rid of the curse. Sister Bai, it's fine. Don't worry. This curse is really nothing. Although I can't get rid of this curse in a short period of time, it won't be a problem as long as I make a breakthrough in my strength. Yang Hongwu said with a smile. But there's really no need to worry. The most important thing right now is to deal with the Zitian issue. Yang Hongwu's face darkened. Yang Hongwu realized that Zitian was hiding nearby. If he wasn't familiar with Zitian, he wouldn't have been able to sense her. Zitian? Yes, Zitian was here just now. Yang Hongwu didn't expect that Zitian had been following him all this time. He was too careless. It seemed that Zitian was no longer the Zitian she used to be. She had become very cautious. Luckily, Guning didn't expose her trump card. Otherwise, she would be in trouble. Could it be that aura? Bai Qi's face changed slightly. He felt a slight fluctuation just now. Now that he thought about it, it was probably the Zitian that Yang Hongwu mentioned. He had heard about Zitian. This person was a genius from the Tai Xianfu. The Tai Xianfu's old ancestor was also surnamed Z. In the Qingyun realm, the Z family was also a big family. They were powerful and not inferior to the Guan family. However, the Z family seemed to have declined in recent years. They've been hiding their strength and biding their time. If that was the case, then the Z family's goal wasn't as simple as it seemed. Senior, you felt it too? Yang Hongwu said, that is Zitian. He is the soul of a supreme demon. I'm afraid that he has already released his original body. If he really fuses with his original body, he will be able to reach the Tai true demon realm once his cultivation recovers. At that time, no one will be able to defeat him. Tai true demon? Could it be that great demon? Bai Qi's face sank. If it was the Tai true demon, then it could only be the great demon that was sealed during the Great Divine Demon War. If it was him, then he couldn't be allowed to recover. Otherwise, the entire Qingyun realm and Qingyun realm would be destroyed. The current 9 heavens and 10 earths wasn't the same as before. In the past, the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths was prosperous. There were hundreds of invincible great emperors. Now, there were only a handful of invincible great emperors. The number of invincible great emperors in the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths could be counted with one's fingers. Of course, this was only known to some ancient families and some top figures of the Qingyun realm. This was a secret from the ancient era. Senior, do you know that great demon? Yang Hongwu asked. I've heard of it. If it's really that great demon, then it's really dangerous. No, this matter must be dealt with properly. I have to return to the Qingyun realm and inform the protector of the Qingyun realm. Bai Qi said. Protector? This was the first time Yang Hongwu heard that there was a protector of the Qin Yun realm. The Lord Protector is a Tai true God expert. He's there to protect the Qin Yun realm and the 9 heavens and 10 earths. He's there to prevent the invasion of the outer realm experts. Bai Qi said, "When your strength increases, you'll know about these things. The 9 heavens and 10 earths isn't that simple." Even though Tai true God realm experts are restricted by the rules and cannot appear in the 9 heavens and 10 earths, there are still special circumstances. The Lord Guardian is actually equivalent to the sex law enforcement team and the patrol inspector. His purpose is to protect the 9 heavens and 10 earths and to kill some of the most evil existences in the 9 heavens and 10 earths. His main purpose is to prevent the invasion of the outer realm experts. Protector? Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. If the Lord Protector was really a Tai true God expert, then he must have noticed the incident in the ancient domain and Zetian. After all, Zetian had caused a huge commotion. Moreover, Zetian's real body was so terrifying. As a protector, it'd be strange if he didn't notice it. Yang Hongwu, you have to be careful. You're Zetian's enemy. He's been monitoring your every move. I'm afraid that Zetian has already made preparations. Therefore, you're in great danger now. However, your body is special. If you can cultivate with Yi, your strength will increase. If you can find another pure Yin sacred body, then you'll be able to break through the Emperor realm. Once you enter the Emperor realm, you'll be one of the top experts in the ancient domain. Even in the Qin Yun realm, no one in the younger generation can compare to you. However, there's not much time left. The calamity has arrived. You don't have that much time. You have to increase your cultivation as soon as possible. Bai Qi said and disappeared. Hearing Bai Qi's words, Bai Yiran's face turned red. Chapter 1007. Tianyi Prison. What are you looking at? Bai Yiran scolded Yang Hongwu when she saw him in a daze. Yang Hongwu was a little embarrassed. This was really embarrassing. It was not like he had never seen a beautiful woman before. He did not expect that it would be so embarrassing this time. Tianmei looked at Yang Hongwu's embarrassed expression and laughed. "Sister, you're too beautiful. Even I am moved, let alone a big pervert like him." Yang Hongwu rolled his eyes when he heard this. What pervert? He did not do anything to her. Moreover, she was the one who wanted to follow him. I've never done anything to her. Of course, I can't say that. Only a fool would reason with a woman. You can never reason with a woman because she's always right. Even if she's wrong, you have to admit that she's right. Sister, you're the beautiful one. At this moment, Bai Yiran was no longer as cold as before. The iceberg had melted. Both of you are very beautiful. However, shouldn't we settle the matter of Tianyi Holy Mansion first? Yang Hongwu looked at the two women and said, "Xianming is here too." At this moment, Tianmei turned her face and looked at the distance. The woman who was walking towards them was none other than Xianming. "Xianming, you've made a breakthrough in your strength again." Tianmei was surprised to see Xianming. She did not expect that Xianming's strength had improved again. Moreover, there were signs that she had reached a higher level. What made Tianmei jealous was that Xianming seemed to have become more charming. Tianmei and Xianming had always been competing with each other. They had to compete in everything as if they were natural enemies. They wanted to suppress each other in everything. Tianmei looked at Xianming and then looked at Yang Hongwu. She was deep in thought. Of course, Yang Hongwu did not know what Tianmei was thinking. If he knew, he would not know whether to laugh or cry. "You're not dead yet. What a pity," Xianming said when she saw Tianmei. "Sorry to disappoint you. You are not dead yet. How can I die before you?" Tianmei looked at Xianming aggressively. Yang Hongwu's face darkened. Was this what they meant by repelling like? They had just met, and the two women were already bickering again. Well, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's deal with the Tianyi Immortal Mansion first. By the way, where is Tengaku? Yang Hongwu looked at Xianming and asked, "Hasn't he come back yet?" "He's here." As soon as he finished speaking, Tengaku appeared in front of the three of them. "I didn't manage to contact Senior Bai Qi." Tengaku appeared in front of Yang Hongwu and the other two girls with a dejected look on his face. However, He quickly regained his composure and stared at by Iran and Tian Mei with his eyes wide open. This, are you guys all right? It's fine. Senior by Chi came by earlier. So that's how it is. That's great. Right, what about Guan Tiantao? Did he give in? Tengaku looked at Yang Hongwu in shock. With Guan Tiantao's character and strength, it was impossible for him to give in easily. Now that he saw by Iran and Tian Mei's situation, he was extremely shocked. Yang Hongwu and by Iran smiled faintly. He wanted to give in, but did he still have a chance? No. No? Then what happened to you guys? I know. Senior by Chi saved you guys. Tengaku said. That's right. However, Guan Tiantao is dead. We killed him. Yang Hongwu said. Killed Guan Tiantao. Tengaku's eyes widened. Guan Tiantao's strength was terrifying. He was an invincible great emperor realm expert. Yet he died just like that. This was too shocking. It was hard to believe. Not to mention invincible great emperors. Even great emperors will be hard to kill if they wanted to escape. No one expected Guan Tiantao to be killed. You're not joking, right? Look at this. Yang Hongwu took out Guan Tiantao's weapon. It's true. The Sky Destroyer deity took a deep breath. Guan Tiantao's life weapon had appeared in Yang Hongwu's hands. It seemed like this matter was true. Any warrior would never give their life weapon to others, not even to the person closest to them. Guan Tiantao's life weapon had appeared in Yang Hongwu's hands. There was only one possibility, and that was that Guan Tiantao was already dead. But killing Guan Tiantao will bring about a lot of trouble. You're worried about the Guan family's revenge? Yang Hongwu asked. Yes, the Guan family is very powerful in the heavenly domain. They're also very powerful in the ancient domain. They're a powerful hidden family. Now that Guan Tiantao is dead, they'll definitely take revenge. Tengaku said. The leader knows the Guan family's matters the best. We just need to find him. All right. Speaking of Leader Tianyi, I almost forgot. Yang Hongwu's expression changed. Leader Tianyi had been imprisoned by Guan Tiantao. Those who didn't get along with Guan Tiantao in the Tianyi Immortal Mansion had all been suppressed by him. Let's go. We're going to the Tianyi prison. Tengaku's expression also changed. He took the lead and walked in front. Just as they entered the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, they were stopped by someone. The disciple guarding the gate was the one who didn't get along with Leader Tianyi and the others. Tang Dai, get lost. Tengaku said coldly. Don't block the way. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Tengaku, don't you dare. Today is different from the past. You're no longer high and mighty. If you dare to attack me, Master will kill you. Tang Dai said coldly. He didn't put Tengaku in his eyes at all. Tang Dai, right? I'll give you a chance to live. Now get lost. Yang Hongwu said coldly. Yang Hongwu, it's actually you. There's a path to heaven, but you don't take it. Instead, you barge into hell. Tang Dai hated Yang Hongwu to the core. He was one of Gu Xiaoshuan's suitors, but he didn't expect Yang Hongwu to take Gu Xiaoxian away. He bore a grudge against Yang Hongwu. Now that he had joined Guan Tiantao and received Guan Tiantao's appreciation, his strength had skyrocketed. He had reached the first level of the Great Sage Realm. Now that he saw Yang Hongwu, the anger in his heart was ignited again. I'll kill you today. With that, Tang Dai grabbed with his big hand. It turned into a terrifying claw that seemed to be able to tear the world apart. He aggressively grabbed at Yang Hongwu, as if he wanted to tear Yang Hongwu apart. Yang Hongwu snorted coldly. The cultivation of the first level of the Great Sage Realm was indeed not bad. Compared to Tang Dai's original cultivation, it was countless levels higher. But so what? Yang Hongwu didn't put Tang Dai in his eyes. Not to mention a mere first level of the Great Sage Realm. Even a first level of the Great Emperor Realm could be killed with a single punch. You're overestimating yourself. Yang Hongwu raised his hand and punched. This punch was simple. He didn't even use his magic power. He just relied on the strength of his physical body. Chapter 1008. The secret of the Immortal Mansion. One punch. Just one punch. And it was only the strength of the physical body, but it was enough to defeat him. Tang Dai's heart was like dead ashes. How could it be so strong? Why? Yang Hongwu didn't care what Tang Dai was thinking at this time. Since he dared to attack him, he had to pay the price, and that was the price of death. Yang Hongwu launched another attack. He flicked his finger, and a burst of power burst out. It was like a sword chi, instantly piercing through Tang Dade's forehead. In the next moment, a bloody hole appeared on Tang Dade's forehead. Tang Dade's eyes widened. He couldn't believe that Yang Hongwu dared to kill him. Weren't they afraid that Guan Tiantao would blame them? Weren't they afraid that Guan Tiantao would punish them? He didn't know that Guan Tiantao had been killed by Yang Hongwu. If he knew, he definitely wouldn't be so arrogant. When the others saw that Yang Hongwu was so domineering and decisive, no one dared to stop them. One should know that Tian Mei and Xian Ming were both great emperors. Tang Dade was already a great saint, but he couldn't even withstand a single blow, let alone them. Therefore, they all moved aside. Come, let's go in. Yang Hongwu and the others moved forward without any hindrance. Soon, the group arrived in front of Tianyi Prison. Tianyi Prison was an underground prison. It was like 18 levels of hell, and each level was stricter than the last. What made Yang Hongwu and Tengaku angry was that the leader of Tianyi Prison had been sent to the lowest level, which was the 18th level. The 18th level of Tianyi Prison was full of dangers. Even great emperors didn't dare to enter it easily. Who knew how many terrifying existences were imprisoned there? Some ancient existences were imprisoned there. No one knew how long they had been cultivating there. It was rumored that some of them had been imprisoned there since the birth of Tianyi Immortal Mansion. These were the truly terrifying existences. If an ordinary person was imprisoned in the 18th level of Tianyi Prison, it was almost impossible to survive. Stop! Get out of the way, we want to go in. Tengaku said coldly. Tengaku, this is a prison. Don't make things difficult for us. The guards of the Tianyi Prison were very strong. They had reached the peak of the Great Saint Realm. They were very powerful in the ancient domain. Don't waste time. Yang Hongwu didn't want to be so long-winded. Since the two of them didn't allow him to enter, he could only force his way in. All right, Tian Mei and Xian Ming attacked. Both of them were great emperors. They subdued the two guards instantly. Tengaku, how dare you break into the First Heaven Prison? Do you know that the First Heaven Prison is one of the most important places in the entire First Heaven Immortal Mansion? Once those evil devils are released, the entire ancient domain will fall into chaos. A guard shouted, "The world is in chaos?" Oof. The world is already in chaos. Even the leader has been thrown into the dungeon. Without the leader, what's the point of the First Sky Immortal Abode existing? Tengaku was very unhappy. These two bastards. Why didn't they say anything when the leader of Tianyi Prison was imprisoned? They didn't stop him. Now that he wanted to go in to save the leader of Tianyi Prison, they wanted to stop him. The five of them entered the First Heaven Prison. As soon as they stepped into the prison, Yang Hongwu, Tian Mei, and Xian Ming's expressions changed. Their cultivation was suppressed. They couldn't use their spiritual power. Even their spiritual power was suppressed. No wonder the First Heaven Prison was known as the most powerful prison. Once you entered the First Heaven Prison, no matter how strong your cultivation was, you couldn't escape. It turned out that there was such a terrifying suppression in the prison. Even great emperors couldn't use their spiritual power and cultivation. Tengaku, after entering the First Heaven Prison, your cultivation will be suppressed? Tian Mei asked. Tengaku nodded and said, yes. Everyone who enters the First Heaven Prison will have their cultivation suppressed. They can't use their spiritual power, and so on. They can't use any of their martial skills, secret skills, and emperor techniques. If it wasn't for this, the powerful demons imprisoned in the First Sky Immortal Abode would have escaped long ago. They wouldn't have been able to hold on until now. In the ancient times, some ancient existences were imprisoned here. Those people were very powerful. There were even many great emperors. Some of them might have even broken through the invincible Great Emperor realm. Any one of these experts would become an overlord if they went out. This showed how terrifying these people were. However, even if their cultivation was so terrifying, they couldn't escape after being captured and imprisoned here. There had never been a single person who could escape. This showed how powerful the First Heaven Prison was. What if it's an expert whose physical body is sanctified? Yang Hongwu asked after some thought. Some warriors with powerful physical bodies didn't need spiritual power or spiritual power at all. Their physical strength alone was enough to sweep the world. For example, there was once an expert in ancient times. His meridians were blocked, and his dantian was damaged. However, he created a supreme physical body cultivation method and became an invincible great emperor. With the strength of his physical body, he could break the void and sweep the world. So what if you have a strong physical body? Unless his physical body has reached the great emperor realm, it will be useless. This Tianyi prison's weapon spirit is enough to suppress him, Tengaku said. When Yang Hongwu heard this, he was shocked and asked, "Artifact spirit? Are you saying that this Tianyi prison has an artifact spirit? It's a magic treasure?" Yes, Tianyi prison is an ancient magic treasure. It was obtained and left behind by great Emperor Tianyi. This Tianyi prison is connected to the Tianyi Immortal Mansion and the Tianyi Immortal Mansion in the Heaven Domain. It's a supreme magic treasure. The lower part of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion is the upper part of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion in the Heaven Domain. Tengaku said, "This Tianyi prison is controlled by great Emperor Tianyi. Unless one's strength far surpasses great Emperor Tianyi's, there's no way to break this Tianyi prison." Didn't great Emperor Tianyi ascend to the true God domain long ago? Yang Hongwu asked. Yang Hongwu didn't believe that great Emperor Tianyi could control this Tianyi prison in the true God domain. It was impossible. After all, one of his women, Pan and I, was an expert of the primordial true God realm. Yang Hongwu knew about these things. A primordial true God realm expert couldn't break the crystal wall between Jiutian Shidi and the true God domain in the true God domain. Chapter 1009. Physical Body Expert. Is the entire Tianyi Immortal Mansion a treasure? Yang Hongwu murmured. Does that mean the other three immortal mansions are the same? Since the Tianyi Immortal Mansion could be a treasure, how could the other three immortal mansions not be possible? If he could get his hands on all four immortal mansions, that would be great. However, this was just a thought. If the four immortal mansions were really four supreme treasures, then what awaited him would be a terrifying pursuit if he really made a move. Yang Hongwu did not want to be chased by a Tianyi true God expert. His current strength was far from enough. It was difficult to even deal with an invincible great emperor, let alone a Tianyi true God expert. I don't know about that, but according to my speculation, it's very likely. Tengaku said, "The entire Jiutian Shidi is a special world. Let's not talk about this anymore. We're still too weak to come into contact with these things. The most important thing for us now is to rescue Leader Tian-yi. Otherwise, if we are too late, I'm afraid Leader Tian-yi will be doomed," Xin Ming said when he saw that Yang Hongwu was still discussing this issue with Sky Destroyer God. "Am I right? We have time, but Leader Tianyi can't afford to be delayed." Yang Hongwu nodded. The five of them increased their speed. Although their cultivation was suppressed, Yang Hongwu was not worried. His physical body was strong. It was equivalent to a great emperor expert. Unless the opponent's physical body was stronger than his, no one would be a match for him. Moreover, other than his physical body, Yang Hongwu had other trump cards. That was the 10,000 kill needle. Yang Hongwu had a lot of 10,000 kill needle. These 10,000 kill needle did not need to be activated at all. They were pure hidden weapons. In a low-level martial arts world, these were torrential pear blossom needles. With these things, even a 3-year-old child could kill a martial arts expert. Therefore, with these 10,000 kill needles, Yang Hongwu was still confident. If he could not deal with them, he would reward them with 10,000 kill needle. If one was not enough, then what about 100 or 1,000? If so many 10,000 kill needles were to burst out, the power would be terrifying. Especially in this place, where there was no way to use magic, it was very scary. It was a pity that they couldn't use puppets here. Ordinary puppets required energy to move, and they were also suppressed here. This was because Yang Hongwu discovered that all energy fluctuations were suppressed here. As for the 10,000 killing needle, it was a very special item that was specially modified by Yang Hongwu. If he encountered a terrifying existence, Yang Hongwu still had one last trump card, which was the destructive Dharma Thunder. The destructive Dharma Thunder was a very abnormal thing that could easily destroy a part of the world. This thing could also be activated under similar confinement. Once it was activated, it could break through all restrictions and restrictions. Of course, Yang Hongwu would not use the apocalyptic Dharma Thunder unless it was a critical moment. After all, that thing was too dangerous. Perhaps even he would be finished. Furthermore, there was only one of this thing. Once it was used, it would be gone. Of course, he couldn't test it to see if it would work. After an incense sticks time, Yang Hongwu's group of 5 finally arrived at the entrance of the 18th floor of the prison. This was where the real experts were locked up in the Tianyi prison. There were a total of 18 floors. The previous ones were just a cover for the prisoners who were not of any importance. "We're here," Tengaku said. "There's no one guarding here." Yang Hongwu was surprised. "Of course there is." As soon as Tengaku's voice fell, a figure appeared. This figure walked out from the darkness. "Tengaku, what are you doing here? This is a restricted area of the prison. Even the leaders can't casually step in here. What are you doing here? Do you have a token?" This was a tall warrior. His body was like a small mountain. This was an expert of the Mountain Giant clan. The Mountain Giant clan cultivated the body divine ability. Their physical strength was very strong. The Mountain Giant in front of them was called Gao Dali. He was very strong. His physical strength had already reached the first level of the Great Emperor realm. He was very strong and was one of the guards of the 18th floor of the prison. "What leader? Don't play tricks with me. Gao Dali, I'm telling you. Don't tell me you don't know. The leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion has been imprisoned in the 18th floor of the prison. I'm here this time to rescue the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion." Tengaku said coldly. "Impossible. The person who is imprisoned in the 18th floor of the prison is not allowed to be released. Even if we kill 10,000 people by mistake, we can't let him go. Even if he's the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. The 18th floor of the prison is a very special place. You can only enter, but not leave." Gao Dali shook his head and said in a very determined tone, "No, the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion is the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. We can't do without him. Moreover, the great calamity is about to begin. Who cares so much? If you're worried about Guan Tiantao, you don't have to. Guan Tiantao has already been killed by us," Tengaku said. "No matter what you say, no means no. If it's the first or second floor of the prison, it's still possible. However, the 18th floor of the prison is absolutely intolerable. This is the rule of the Tianyi prison. It's also my duty. Unless you can defeat me." Gao Dali's attitude was firm. Tengaku was furious when he heard this. He said, "It's easy to defeat you. Come out with us. You can come in after you defeat us." Gao Dali was a member of the High Mountain tribe. His physical body was incomparably strong. It was equivalent to a great Emperor realm expert. Who could be a match for him? Even the Sorcerer tribe, which was known for its strong physical body, did not have such strength. Even the mysterious underworld experts were no match for him. Therefore, defeating Gao Dali here was simply a fool's dream. "You mean it's fine if I defeat you?" Yang Hongwu stood up and looked at Gao Dali. "That's right. It's fine as long as you defeat me. I don't care what method you use. As long as you defeat me in the Tianyi prison, you can go wherever you want." Gao Dali looked at Yang Hongwu. His bell-like eyes squinted instantly. "You're very strong. Your physical body has reached the Great Emperor realm. You could be my opponent." Gao Dali's aura rose and exuded a high fighting spirit. "You're not bad either. This is the first time I've seen someone with such a strong physical body." Yang Hongwu had to admit that Gao Dali was indeed extraordinary. He had actually cultivated his physical body to such a level without the assistance of any magic power. Chapter 10:10. Fight. Of course, this guy was born with a strong physical body, which Yang Hongwu couldn't compare with. However, Yang Hongwu also had an advantage. His physical body was polished bit by bit, and it was tempered by countless heavenly punishment thunder tribulations before it grew up. His physical body contained supreme power, which was one level higher than Gao Dali's. Yang Hongwu also wanted to see whose physical body was stronger. "Come on, let me see if your physical body is stronger or if mine is stronger." Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes, and a ray of light burst out. His body bounced up like a meteor, rushed up quickly, and threw out a punch. It was pure strength. It was a punch without any fancy moves. Good. Gao Dali also shouted, raised his fist, and punched toward Yang Hongwu. However, Gao Dali was tall, like a small mountain, while Yang Hongwu was small and weak. In front of Gao Dali, he was like an ant. The two fists, one big and one small, collided in an instant. A huge impact force erupted in an instant, and a huge explosion sounded, deafening everyone's ears. Bang! Both of them were pushed back. Good, good, good. After Gao Dali was knocked back, he was not afraid. Instead, he became very happy. With an excited look, he said loudly, I haven't had such a good fight for a long time. Since I started guarding the Tianyi prison, no one has been able to fight with me. You're the first. You are also the first one who can compete with me with physical strength. However, if that's all you have, I'm a little disappointed, Yang Hongwu said coldly. This guy only knew how to use brute force, and he didn't know how to use martial skills or secret skills. In that case, he would have a huge advantage. You have to be careful. I'm going to get serious. Just now, it was indeed just a probing attack. Although Gao Dali was a little rigid, he was still a good person. If it was someone else, they wouldn't have said anything and directly attacked. In that case, they would be caught off guard. Although Yang Hongwu was not afraid, the others were different. Only Xian Ming, as an ancestor of sorcerer, had a strong physical strength. As for Tian Mei, by Iran and Tengaku, they could not resist at all. Haha, I'm going to get serious too. Gao Dali laughed loudly and said, mountain-shattering fist. With a loud roar, a huge fist swept towards Yang Hongwu like a huge torrent that could even tear a mountain apart. Yang Hongwu's face froze slightly. It seemed that Gao Dali was not as simple as he had thought. Yang Hongwu was not so stupid as to go head-to-head with him. His body moved as if it had turned into a breeze. Then, a saber appeared in his hand. It was the Hong Meng saber. Although there was no way to use spiritual power, he could still use the saber. He condensed a majestic force, and the saber glowed. Clang! With a crisp sound, Yang Hongwu's saber slashed on Gao Dali's body. Sparks flew, but it only left a white mark. What a strong physical body. This made Yang Hongwu very surprised. Not only was his physical strength strong, but his physical defense was also very amazing. His Hong Meng saber was an indestructible weapon. Although it did not have the support of spiritual power, it was still very terrifying with pure strength. However, he did not expect it to be so strong. Haha, not bad. You almost hurt me, Gao Dali shouted loudly. However, this is not enough. Not only is my physical strength strong, but my defense is also very amazing. Little guy, you need to improve on this. Is that so? Yang Hongwu snorted coldly. Your speed is too slow, and your technique is not enough. You can't attack me at all. However, I can attack continuously. Although your defense is strong, there are many flaws. With that, Yang Hongwu moved again. This time, the Hong Meng saber changed from a slash to a stab. The force condensed on the tip of the saber. Yang Hongwu's entire body seemed to have merged with the Hong Meng saber. He reached the stage where he became one with the saber. His entire body turned into a huge saber. The sharp tip of the saber pierced towards Gao Dali's forehead. Gao Dali raised his hands and blocked in front of him. He wanted to block Yang Hongwu. However, at this time, Yang Hongwu was not so easy to resist. Although there was no way to use dermic powers, he had activated the power of the origin energy of the inner world. This was one of Yang Hongwu's greatest trump cards. Originally, under normal circumstances, the origin energy of the inner world could not be activated. However, there was a treasure that could do it, and that was the Life Seal. The Life Grand Seal was at the true treasure level. Just how powerful was it? Even the Tianyi prison was at the true treasure level, but it was only on the same level. However, Yang Hongwu knew that the seal was definitely stronger than ordinary true treasures. It was a top true treasure. After all, there was a great world within the Life Seal, the common people's divine realm. Yang Hongwu had entered the common people's divine realm before. It was vast and boundless. It was bigger than the entire Juqian City. There were many experts in it. However, they were suppressed now. If he could become the owner of the common people's divine realm, he would become the domain lord. Then, his strength would rise to an unbelievable level. At that time, even if Zetian broke through to the invincible Great Emperor realm, or even the Tai True Demon realm, he would not have to worry about him. Compared to such an expert, a mere Great Emperor realm expert's physical body was nothing. Crack! Yang Hongwu's battle saber tore through Gao Dali's defense and landed heavily on Gao Dali's body. Gao Dali dodged, allowing Yang Hongwu's blade to hit his shoulder instead of his forehead. Otherwise, Gao Dali would not have survived. Even though the attack had only landed on his shoulder, it was enough to seriously injure Gao Dali. His entire shoulder had been sliced off. Gao Dali screamed in pain. His body was sent flying by the powerful force and hit the wall. After a while, Gao Dali slowly stood up. His face was pale and he was panting. He covered his wound and looked at Yang Hongwu. You win. I'll let you do whatever you want with me. You're a man. I won't kill you. Guard well. Yang Hongwu said and waved to Xian Ming and Tian Mei. Let's go. Tian Mei, Xian Ming, and the others immediately followed. The group entered the 18th level of the prison. After entering the first level of the prison, Yang Hongwu found that the suppression of the laws here was even stronger. Ordinary people would have a problem even walking here. Chapter 10-11. Subduing the Vajra Tyrannosaurus, there weren't any terrifying experts on the first floor. Most of them were experts from some sects, and the strongest was only a saint. However, each of them had killed countless people. When they first came in, they were filled with killing intent. Even after so long, some of them were still very terrifying. However, there were also some who had lost their spirit after being locked up for so long. Along the way, there were all kinds of people who were locked up here. There were even ferocious beasts and savage beasts. The lower they went, the more evil spirits there were. Some evil spirits that couldn't be killed were locked up below the 9th floor. From the 9th floor onwards, these were the truly terrifying existences. Every one of them could become the overlord of a region. Their strength was unimaginable. Of course, there were also some terrifying existences with strong physical bodies. For example, on the 11th floor, Yang Hongwu and the others saw a Vajra Tyrannosaurus. The Vajra Tyrannosaurus was a terrifying beast. It had a strong physical body, sharp teeth, and extremely high intelligence. It was very ferocious. These guys had amazing defensive power and were impenetrable. They were locked up here. Yang Hongwu looked at this guy, and his eyes lit up. This thing contained the powerful bloodline of the true dragon. If he had enough time, he could devour this guy, and his strength could increase by another step. When Yang Hongwu approached, the Vajra Tyrannosaurus was very frightened. This was because it felt a strong pressure from Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu cultivated the immortal dragon body, the 9 Dragons Saint body. His bloodline level was much higher than the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. For dragons, bloodline suppression was very terrifying. For some low-level dragons, if they encountered a high-level dragon, unless the other party was very powerful and much stronger, they would definitely be suppressed by the bloodline of the other party. Therefore, Yang Hongwu always had the upper hand when facing those with true dragon bloodlines or those of the dragon race. Moreover, it was a huge advantage. Even if he encountered an expert who was much stronger than him, if the other party had the bloodline of a true dragon, his cultivation would definitely be suppressed. It was just that the level of suppression varied according to the bloodline of the other party. The greater the difference in bloodline, the greater the suppression and weakening of one's strength. The smaller the difference in bloodline, the smaller the suppression and weakening of one's strength. This is the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. Its strength is incomparably powerful. It has been imprisoned here for thousands of years, but not only has its strength not weakened, it has even increased. It is the most terrifying fellow on this level. Tengaku pointed at the Vajra Tyrannosaurus and said, "However, this guy is afraid when he sees you." It's very surprising. This guy was originally very arrogant. I didn't expect him to behave so strangely today. Yang Hanwu rolled his eyes. Of course, the grade of his bloodline was higher than this fellow's. If he wanted to deal with this fellow, it would be a piece of cake. Furthermore, this fellow was also afraid that he would be refined. Here, others couldn't do anything to him, but that didn't mean that he couldn't do anything to him. In the face of a life-and-death crisis, everyone was the same. No one was an exception. Almost no one was not afraid of death, especially those who died in a cowardly manner. Big guy, when I come back later, come with me. Yang Hanwu said, I'm willing. A loud voice rang in everyone's ears. It was a muffled voice. Tengaku suddenly widened his eyes and looked at Yang Hongwu in disbelief. He never thought that Yang Hongwu would actually make the Vajra Tyrannosaurus submit. However, he was still a little worried and said, Brother Yang, this doesn't seem appropriate. Moreover, this fellow is too dangerous. Yang Hongwu smiled and said, It's fine. Don't worry. Don't forget that I still have other means. This fellow not only had the bloodline of dragons, but also belonged to the category of ferocious beasts. And he had something that could restrain them. That was the 10,000 beast totem. Of course, after it was integrated into the mountain river map, it became a part of the mountain river map. Can you open the prison gate? Yang Hongwu asked. I almost forgot. To open the prison gate, you need to communicate with the spirit of Tianyi prison and obtain its approval. Only then can the people in the prison be released. I don't know if this Vajratyrannosaurus can be released, but the leader of Tianyi Immortal Mansion can be released. How do I communicate with the spirit of the prison? Yang Hongwu frowned. This was quite advanced. It was simply a high-tech prison. Next to each prison, there is a prison monument. You can communicate with the prison monument with your mind, Tengaku said. If that's the case, doesn't it mean that anyone who enters the Tianyi prison can release the criminals as long as they obtain the approval of the prison spirit? Yang Hongwu asked with a frown. This was a very big loophole. Of course not. Only the elders of Tianyi Immortal Mansion have such authority, Tengaku said. Elders? Of course. You are the successor of the leader of Tianyi Immortal Mansion. Naturally, you have this qualification, Tengaku said. Okay, I'll try. Yang Hongwu moved his mind and began to communicate with the spirit of the prison. After a few breaths, the prison gate slowly opened and Vajra Tyrannosaurus was released. Then, Yang Hongwu cut his finger and touched Vajra Tyrannosaurus's forehead. The drop of blood sank into Vajra Tyrannosaurus's forehead. After releasing Vajra Tyrannosaurus, Yang Hongwu thought of a problem. He couldn't use his spiritual power here. There was no way he could plant a mark on Vajra Tyrannosaurus, nor could he put into the mountain river map. He could only use his blood to suppress it and temporarily subdue it. Tengaku and the others on the side were frightened. After all, Vajra Tyrannosaurus's strength was very terrifying. Its defense was amazing, and its sharp teeth were simply indestructible. In terms of physical combat strength, it was even more terrifying than Gao Dali. After subduing Vajra Tyrannosaurus, Yang Hongwu said to everyone with some embarrassment, I'm sorry. I forgot that there is no way to use spiritual power in Tianyi prison. Fortunately, my blood can suppress this guy. He doesn't dare to resist at all. In fact, Yang Hongwu wasn't worried that Vajra Tyrannosaurus would attack him. He had communicated with the spirit of the prison. On this floor, he was equivalent to the prison master. As long as he moved his mind, the spirit of the prison would follow his will and imprison Vajra Tyrannosaurus again. However, he could only communicate with this floor. He could only activate the laws and restrictions on this floor. Now, with this Vajra Tyrannosaurus, the strength of the group had increased tremendously. Even if they encountered a powerful existence on the next floor, they would be more confident. Chapter 10:12. 13th floor, they went all the way to the 13th floor. In the last 6 levels, if you want to send a criminal in, you can enter directly. However, if you want to bring the criminal out, you have to go in personally and find the criminal. Only then can you bring the criminal out. This way, it is very dangerous. It is very likely that you will die. Tengaku's face was very serious. You guys wait here. I'll go in alone. Let me go. Yang Hongwu thought for a while and said. His body was the strongest here. Moreover, he had King Kong Tyrannosaurus. There shouldn't be any problem. No, you're the hope of Tiani Immortal Mansion. If I can't get out, you'll be in charge of Tiani Immortal Mansion. You'll be the new leader of Tiani Immortal Mansion, Tengaku said. Don't worry, I'm confident. Even if I can't save the prisoner, I'll be able to escape unscathed, Yang Hongwu said. No. Tian Mei and Xianming looked at each other and said, we want to go too. I want to go too. Bai Yiran also looked at Yang Hongwu and said seriously, I've come here. I have no reason to retreat. Moreover, an ancestor of my Bai family was once imprisoned in this prison. You mean Bai Shaoqi? Yes, that's her. Bai Yiran said, she's the most outstanding genius of our Bai family. She's the strongest besides the killing god. However, due to some reasons, she entered Tiani prison. She's on the 17th floor. If possible, I want to find that senior. Yang Hongwu had heard of Bai Shaoqi. It was said that she had the Nirvana physique. A woman with the Nirvana physique could destroy everything if she cultivated it to the extreme. She possessed terrifying strength. She had modified Bai family's 10-direction killing fist into the Nirvana killing fist. Once the Nirvana killing fist was used, it would release Nirvana. It was very terrifying. There wouldn't be any vitality within a radius of 10,000 miles. That was when she had just created the Nirvana killing fist. Her cultivation was only at the Saint realm. It was enough to prove how terrifying the Nirvana killing fist was. I would also like to see such an amazing woman. Yang Hongwu said, however, it's still too dangerous. You can't go. If you follow me, I don't have the confidence to protect your safety. As for Bai Shaoqi, I will bring her back if we meet. No, since we came together, how can I let you go alone? Xianming said, I am from the sorcerer tribe. Although my body constitution is weaker than yours, it could be compared to an Emperor Realm expert. Seeing that none of them were willing to stay behind, Yang Hongwu could only sigh and say, all right then. But Brother Godslayer, you should stay behind. We'll stay together, and you'll receive us here. If anything happens, use the messaging talisman to send us a message. Yang Hongwu took out a special message amulet. This special message amulet did not require any powers. One could communicate with it with just a thought. Yang Hongwu had spent a lot of effort to refine this message amulet. There were only 3 of them. The materials were rare, and it was very difficult to refine them. This message amulet was very useful at a critical moment. It could even send messages in some special sealed spaces. You say no more. You're the weakest. You'll just be a burden to everyone if you go. Therefore, you can only stay here to help us. Moreover, you can communicate with the prison spirit at the critical moment and help us. Xianming patted Heavenly Destroyer Deity's shoulder and said. Tengaku smiled bitterly. What he said was true. He was indeed the weakest among them. Before this, he was a famous Tai Xianfu, Tiani Holy Mansion. Everyone in the ancient region knew about him. He was one of the 4 great holy mansions. But now, he had become a burden. This made him feel depressed, but he could not say it out loud. All right, but you must be careful. If you can't do it, just come back. Tengaku said, everyone knows that. Tian Mei rolled her eyes. Don't be long-winded. We don't have much time. Let's go. Yang Hongwu nodded. With a thought, he communicated with the prison spirit and instantly opened a teleportation channel. This was the teleportation channel to the 13th level of the prison. It was very difficult to come out after entering this place. It was impossible for people who were branded to come out unless they defeated the guards of this layer. Moreover, they could only go from one layer to the next. Each layer was more powerful than the previous one. Such people were very terrifying. The 18th layer was extremely dangerous. Not only did they have to defeat the guards, but they also had to go through the punishment of the 9 heavens punishment thunder. Only a few people could withstand the punishment of the 9 heavens punishment thunder, unless they had the innate divine body of thunder. However, there was only one person who had such a body constitution. It was impossible for them to practice a powerful body refining technique. Since ancient times, there was only one person who could do that. He had the innate divine body of thunder and created a powerful body refining technique called the Nine Heavens Thunder Devouring Technique. This secret technique was very terrifying and dangerous. Even though the Nine Heavens Thunder Sage had left his inheritance, no one had succeeded in practicing it. The others had died trying to practice it. Therefore, the secret technique left by the Nine Heavens Thunder Sage had been left on the Nine Heavens Thunder Sage tablet in the Qingyun domain for many years. No one dared to practice it. Yang Hongwu had planned to enter the Qingyun domain to study and practice this secret technique. After all of the body refinement techniques that he practiced were supreme body refinement techniques. However, if he wanted his body to reach the pinnacle and reach the true divinity realm with his body, it would be extremely difficult. It was simply unrealistic. Therefore, it was unrealistic for him to come out after entering the 18th layer of the prison. Of course, there was another kind, which was merit. Those who had great merit did not have to worry about the terrifying thunder punishment thunder. In fact, the thunder punishment thunder was like the heaven's way of cleansing one's sins. The more sins one had committed, the more terrifying the thunder punishment thunder would be. However, to reach such a realm, which one of them had not stepped on mountains of corpses and seas of bones. Therefore, basically, everyone who was sent here would be subjected to the terrifying thunder punishment thunder, including the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. Yang Hongwu was surprised when they entered the 13th layer of the prison. Chapter 10:13. Vajra shows its might. Looking at the 13th floor, Yang Hongwu was surprised. He did not expect the last 6 floors to be like this, and not the same as the previous ones. There are newcomers. A voice came from afar. In the next moment, a few people appeared and surrounded Yang Hongwu's group. Not bad. There are actually 3 great beauties. This is really good news, another voice said. Yang Hongwu turned around. These people were all wearing bee skins, but their aura was strong. Although they didn't have any spiritual power, their physical strength was terrifying. Their eyes were like wild beasts. When they saw Bai Ran and the other 2 girls, they were filled with a strong desire to possess them. Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes. He said coldly, "Get lost. Pretty boy, TSK. You're already here, but you still can't see the reality. But it doesn't matter. We'll teach you. As for these 3 beauties, they're ours." Zhongyi laughed and said. Zhongguang swallowed his saliva and said, "Big brother, leave this pretty boy to me. You know I like him." Yang Hongwu was even angrier when he heard that. These people dare to have ideas about him. They deserve to die. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Yang Hongwu snorted. He didn't need to do anything. He would let the Vajra Tyrannosaurus test their strength first. Although Yang Hongwu was confident in defeating them, he couldn't guarantee that they still had trump cards. Vajra Tyrannosaurus, destroy them. Yes, master. The Vajra Tyrannosaurus appeared. Its terrifying and violent aura covered the entire area. When Zhongyi and the others saw the Vajra Tyrannosaurus, their faces changed. Of course, they knew this Vajra Tyrannosaurus. To be able to be imprisoned in the last 6 floors of the 18th floor, how could it be simple? Therefore, they were very familiar with the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. The Vajra Tyrannosaurus was a terrifying existence. When they were imprisoned, they naturally went through the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. How could they not remember when they saw the Vajra Tyrannosaurus? If they were in the outside world, they were confident that they could deal with the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. However, they weren't in the outside world. They were in the prison. The spiritual chi here was thin and the power of the law was limited. In their current situation, they couldn't exert their full strength. The few of them were very strong. They had made a name for themselves in the 13th level of the prison by relying on a set of body refinement techniques. However, the Vajra Tyrannosaurus before them was too strong. More importantly, the beast's body was huge and its defense was astonishing. It would be very difficult for them to break through the beast's defense with their current strength. Damn it, the group of people's faces were extremely gloomy. The 4 people who had just entered were not as simple as they had imagined. They were not soft persimmons at all, but iron plates. Tyrannosaurus. Tyrannosaurus? Tyrannosaurus? Furthermore, his level wasn't low, it was the highest level. According to Zhong Ye's understanding, once a beast tamer reached the highest level, they would be able to summon their beasts without the use of magic or spiritual power. Could it be that this young man had already reached this level? If that was the case, then it would be terrifying. He knew better than anyone how terrifying a peak-level beast tamer was. Even if it was just a beast tamer in the Sage Realm, his strength was very terrifying. When he was still in the Great Sage Realm, he once saw a beast tamer showing great power by summoning hundreds of battle beasts at the peak of the Great Sage Realm and killing a great Emperor powerhouse. Logically speaking, although hundreds of Great Sage Peak Realm battle beasts were powerful, they were not enough to kill a great Emperor powerhouse. However, those hundreds of battle beasts were different. They could use the battle formation, which made the great Emperor Realm powerhouse unable to resist. A truly powerful beast tamer was not only able to control beasts, they were also battle formation masters. They could make all the battle beasts arrange a powerful and terrifying battle formation to fight against the enemy. In front of him, this young man didn't seem to be very strong, but he didn't expect him to be able to summon battle beasts in this place. Moreover, it was the famous Tyrannosaurus. It seemed that he had to build a relationship with this kid. As for the matter of provoking them just now, it shouldn't be a big deal. After all, he hadn't done anything yet. Zhong Yi thought so. On the other side, Tyrannosaurus had already rushed over. Big brother, quickly think of a way. This beast is very powerful. It's difficult for us to deal with it. Zhong Guang said. He knew that although his brothers were pretty strong, it wouldn't be easy for them to deal with this big guy. Even if they could take care of this beast, they would definitely suffer a great blow and both sides would suffer great losses. In fact, they might not even be able to kill this beast. Therefore, he was very anxious. He didn't want to die. They also didn't want to be seriously injured. If they were to be seriously injured here and their enemies found out about it, it would be even more troublesome. They had offended quite a number of people here. If their enemies found out about it, it would be a fate worse than death. Zhong Guang thought of the methods they had used on their enemies. If those methods were used on them, Zhong Guang shuddered at the thought. Now, he regretted it. After hunting geese all day, he was finally pecked in the eye by the geese. Wait, little brother, wait a moment. Zhong Yi came back to his senses and hurriedly shouted. It's too late to make peace now. Yang Hongwu coldly snorted. King Kong, beat them to death for me. These guys are quite strong, and the energy contained in their bodies is also not bad. If you devour them, your strength might increase by another step. Don't worry, master. I haven't eaten meat in a long time. I really miss that taste. The King Kong Tyrannosaurus grinned. Its sharp claws swiped at Zhong Guang fiercely. The wind created by the claws was like a sharp razor. It tore the ground apart in an instant. The wind was terrifying, and the grip was even more terrifying. The King Kong Tyrannosaurus was very strong. Its claws were not inferior to those divine weapons. It was definitely comparable to an emperor weapon. Rip! A crisp sound was heard. One of Zhong Guang's arms was torn off. Although Zhong Guang's physical body had not reached the Great Emperor Realm, it was still at the peak of the Great Sage Realm. It could be said that there were not many people below the Great Emperor Realm who could compete with him. However, under the sharp claws of the King Kong Tyrannosaurus, it was like a piece of paper that was easily torn apart. It was enough to prove the strength of the King Kong Tyrannosaurus. Chapter 10:14. Good fortune silver dragon armor. Damn it, my hand. Zhong Guang screamed. Zhong Yi became anxious when he saw Zhong Guang's hand. He slashed out his blade and blocked the King Kong Tyrannosaurus. Although they had tried their best to increase the strength of the King Kong Tyrannosaurus, they still underestimated it. The strength of the King Kong Tyrannosaurus was too terrifying. It was beyond their expectation. If this continued, the entire army would be wiped out. They would all be finished. Stop! Make this bastard stop! Zhong Yi shouted while blocking the King Kong Tyrannosaurus. You have just entered this prison. I can help you. Help us? Of course. Yang Hongwu sneered. He didn't care about these guys at all. They were not the only ones in the Channy prison. Although there would not be too many prisoners on the 13th floor of the prison, there would still be quite a few of them. After all, It had been so many years, and this place was a micro-world. How could there be fewer people here? If it was someone else, Yang Hongwu would hesitate for a moment. However, Yang Hongwu did not care about these guys. They had gone too far just now. You can go and die. That will be the greatest help you can give me. Damn it, even if I die, I will not let you off easily. Zhong Yi saw that it was impossible to surrender and beg for mercy. So he shouted, "Since this is the case, let's fight to the death. If we die, you won't have a good time either. This is the Tianyi prison. There are many strong experts here. You can't escape death." "Big brother, I don't want to die." "We don't want to die either." Other than Zhong Yi, the others began to beg for mercy and said to Yang Hongwu, "Sir, please forgive us. We didn't do it on purpose. It was all because of those bastards Zhong Yi and Zhong Guang. It was their idea. They are crazy and have plotted against many new warriors." Zhong Yi and Zhong Guang were so angry that they almost vomited blood. These ingrates, if it weren't for them, they would have died many times already. They didn't expect that they would betray them now. Zhong Yi, Zhong Guang, do you think we don't know what kind of people you brothers are? We've done so many things for you. Every time there's a dangerous situation, we're the ones who take the lead. When there's danger, you leave first, and we'll bring up the rear. When there's something good, you get first. We can only drink the soup. In your eyes, we're just your hired thugs, your lackeys. We've long had enough of such days. That's right. Now that we've met you lords, we can finally escape from your evil clutches, another person said. If you kill the two of them, I can spare you. At this time, Yang Hongwu stopped the Vajra Tyrannosaurus and said, "All right, brothers, let's kill them." That person's eyes lit up when he heard this. It was a fact that Zhong Yi and his brother were very strong. But now, Zhong Guang was injured and had lost an arm. He was like an arrow at the end of its flight. There was no need to worry about him. As for Zhong Yi, although he was a little troublesome, they might not be able to defeat him if they joined forces. If they didn't take action, they had no chance of winning against the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. So, killing the two brothers was the only way out. Suddenly, several people rushed forward and launched a crazy attack on the two brothers. In order to survive, they used all kinds of methods. "Damn it, you want to kill us? You're not qualified." Zhong Yi was furious and waved the battle blade in his hand. Zhong Yi was very strong, especially the weapon in his hand. It was a very powerful battle blade. Those who clashed with it couldn't compete with the weapon in their hands. However, he was only one person, and he had to protect his brother Zhong Guang. It was difficult for two fists to fight against four hands. Ding! With a crisp sound, a person's blade slashed on his body. Suddenly, sparks splashed out. That person was dumbfounded. He didn't expect that his blade couldn't cut through Zhong Yi's body. Zhong Yi sneered and used his blade to cut off that person's head. Do you really think that I'm that easy to kill? This is my greatest trump card." Zhong Yi tore off the clothes on his upper body, revealing an armor. That armor was shining with white light. It was a supreme treasure armor. There were shining scales on it, dazzling the eyes of those who saw it. Silver dragon armor. That's the silver dragon armor of fortune. So you actually obtained it. Someone cried out involuntarily. Now that you know, it's too late. You're all going to die. Zhong Yi said with a ferocious face. His speed was even faster and his attacks were even more ruthless. I can't accept this. You still have a trump card." When the last person fell, he looked at Zhong Yi with unwillingness. He wanted to cut Zhong Yi into pieces and eat him alive. But in the end, he died. After killing all the traitors, Zhong Yi looked at Yang Hongwu and said coldly, "I don't want to fight with you. You can leave." "Zhong Yi, you're very arrogant. You think that with a mere treasure armor, you can be unscrupulous and not put me in your eyes?" Yang Hongwu said coldly. Although this treasure armor didn't have much use for Yang Hongwu, it was very useful for his women by Iran and the others. Especially in the 18th level of the prison, there were many dangers. If they had such a treasure armor, their safety would be greatly increased. "You want us to leave?" "Sure, but as long as you hand over that treasure armor, I can spare your life." "You really think that I don't have a way to deal with you?" Zhong Yi's eyes were filled with killing intent when he heard that. At the beginning, he had planned to hide his strength and then sneak attack Yang Hongwu and the others to kill them. But he hadn't expected that his subordinates would fall for his trick and betray him. He hadn't even had the chance to use his plan before it was ruined. This made him feel extremely depressed. With the treasure armor, he was 70% confident that he could kill the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. But even if he could win, he would be injured, and it might even be a lose-lose situation. Now, all his subordinates were dead, and his brother Zhongguang was seriously injured. If he continued to fight with Yang Hongwu and the others, it would be unwise. So, he wanted to make peace with Yang Hongwu and the others. However, he did not expect that Yang Hongwu would actually take a fancy to the armor on his body. This silver dragon armor of good fortune was his foundation and his trump card to protect his life. If he were to lose this thing, it would be equivalent to taking his life. Chapter 10:15. Starry Sky Tyrannosaurus Ding. The blade landed on the neck of the Vajra Tyrannosaurus and left a deep wound. Blood flowed out from the wound. The attack managed to break through the Vajra Tyrannosaurus's defense. Everyone was surprised. Even Yang Hongwu was astonished. This guy really hid his strength before this. Moreover, he managed to injure his brother. This was truly shocking. Initially, he thought that Yi Shiwen had deep feelings for his brother, but now it seemed like it was all fake. Everything was for his own sake. In front of his own life, nothing was more important. Brotherhood was nothing. He could give it all up. Oh! The Vajra Tyrannosaurus let out a miserable cry, followed by an angry roar. Its defense was so amazing, but this time it was actually injured by this guy. How could it not be angry when this ant in its eyes actually injured it? Its sharp claws danced crazily in the air. Its speed became faster. Although the Vajra Tyrannosaurus's body was huge, its speed was also very shocking. It surprised everyone. Damn reptile. Go to hell. Each attack and each claw would explode with a terrifying power that could shatter mountains and split the earth. Bastard. Zhongyi was also furious. Although the Vajra Tyrannosaurus's claws did not hit him, the terrifying gales bombarded his body. Even if he was protected by treasure armor, the repeated attacks still caused quite a bit of damage to him, especially since the Vajra Tyrannosaurus's body was too huge. If he was careless and was trampled by the Vajra Tyrannosaurus, he would be crushed into a meat patty even if he was protected by treasure armor. Earth-shattering, mountain river shattering. Zhongyi roared in anger. The battle blade in his hand emitted an intense light that illuminated the entire sky. This blade instantly slashed out. It seemed like it wanted to split the mountains and rivers apart. Its power was incomparably vast. Yang Hongwu's eyes widened. Damn it! In this prison, there was no way to use magical power. But this guy's attack was actually so powerful. It was really terrifying. This power was neither dermic power nor spiritual power. Yang Hongwu suddenly realized that this guy had actually burned his own life force. This saber strike was an attack made from his burning life force. However, there weren't many secret techniques like this. Ordinary secret techniques required the consumption of magic power in order to burn one's life force and transform it into one's own strength. But Zhongyi was surprisingly able to do so. He must have practiced some sort of secret technique. No wonder he was so confident. This slash tore an even larger wound on the Vajra Tyrannosaurus's body. Blood spurted out like a fountain. Yang Hongwu didn't want one of his battle pets to die just like that. That would be a waste. If this Vajra Tyrannosaurus was placed outside, it wouldn't be that useful. However, it was different here. It was much more useful here. Moreover, he was still on the 13th floor, and there were still 5 more floors below. Each floor was full of dangers. With the Vajra Tyrannosaurus around, he would be much safer. Even if he didn't need it, the Vajra Tyrannosaurus will be able to protect by Iran and the others. Especially by Iran, she was the weakest and most in need of help. Therefore, after entering the 13th floor, Yang Hongwu told the Vajra Tyrannosaurus to focus on protecting by Iran. Awu! The Vajra Tyrannosaurus screamed and became even angrier. The Vajra Tyrannosaurus was fast, but Zhongyi, who was burning his life force, was faster than the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. Therefore, time after time, the The Vajra-Tyrannosaurus's wounds were increasing. The wound on its neck was getting bigger and bigger. At this moment, Yang Hongwu made a move. He turned into a ray of light and dashed towards Zhongyi. Immortal dragon body, Yang Hongwu shouted. A mysterious change took place on his body. That was the power of his bloodline. His body was filled with horrifying strength. An armor appeared on his body, the golden dragon armor. He clenched the battle saber in his hand tightly, and it glowed. This was the power of the bloodline of the 9 dragons' sacred body. It entered the Hongmeng battle saber and activated the dragon power. The Hongmeng battle saber was the original 9 dragons battle saber. It had powerful dragon power. Although Yang Hongwu did not have any magic power, the power of his bloodline was connected to the 9 dragons battle saber. This was not magic power, but it was still very powerful. In particular, Yang Hongwu's physical strength had already surpassed the ordinary Great Emperor realm. He had become very powerful. His footwork and martial skills could also be displayed. It was very mysterious. Although his magic power was sealed, Yang Hongwu could still use Mao Er's Delusion Breaker Eye. Under the Delusion Breaker Eye, Zhongyi's attacks and the flaws of his moves were all exposed. Die! Yang Hongwu waved the battle saber in his hand. It was like a bolt of lightning from the immemorial sky, breaking the void. Kacha! Yang Hongwu's battle saber slashed Zhongyi's body. Although the silver dragon armor on Zhongyi's body was powerful and blocked the attack, the powerful force hit his body and sent him flying. Zhongyi, you surprised me for a long time. Since you have the secret technique of burning your life force to increase your strength and burst out with such terrifying potential, I don't think I'll be able to defeat you if you advance further. Yang Hongwu said as he launched another attack after sending Zhongyi flying. In such a situation, Yang Hongwu was not a fool. If he let go of such an opportunity, it would take a lot of time to completely kill him. Pursuing him while he had the advantage was the best way, and it would save him a lot of trouble. Damn it! Zhongyi did not expect that Yang Hongwu's strength was the strongest. His combat strength was so terrifying. The power that erupted was even more powerful than the secret technique of burning his life. His physical body was at the Great Emperor realm. The strength of his physical body was already so terrifying. If he cultivated the secret technique of burning his life like Zhongyi, how terrifying would his strength be? No wonder this guy could tame the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. Furthermore, Zhongyi could sense a powerful pressure from him. He had only sensed such a powerful pressure from the overlord of this prison before. In the last 6 levels of the Tianyi prison, there was an overlord in each level. These overlords were very powerful and had cultivated supreme secret techniques. Chapter 10:16. Dragon Domain Die. Yang Hongwu seized the opportunity and slashed again. This time, Yang Hongwu's target was not Zhongyi's armor, but his neck. Although the silver dragon armor of good fortune was powerful, it also had a weakness. It would not protect the whole person. If Zhongyi had Dharma power, he could activate the defense of the silver dragon armor of good fortune and form a defensive circle to block the attack. However, Zhongyi could not use Dharma power now. Naturally, he could only rely on the power of the armor itself to block the attack. It was impossible to form a defensive formation to protect the whole body. There was no way to defend the neck and the head. Yang Hongwu's speed was so fast that Zhongyi could not block it in time. Looking at Yang Hongwu's blade, Zhongyi raised his own blade to block it. Ding! A crisp sound was heard. Zhongyi's blade was cut in half by Yang Hongwu's blade. Zhongyi was sent flying again. This time, Zhongyi was seriously injured. His battle blade had been cut in half. Zhongyi was shocked. His battle blade was a supreme treasure and possessed boundless power. But now, it had been cut in half by Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu's battle blade was even more terrifying. Zhongyi's heart was bitter. This time, he was really finished. He did not expect to meet such a powerful enemy. In fact, when Yang Hongwu summoned the Vajra Tyrannosaurus, Zhongyi already regretted it. However, it was too late. Yang Hongwu did not let him go. Seeing Yang Hongwu brandishing his blade again, Zhongyi quickly shouted, "Wait, I have something to say." If you have something to say, go to hell and say it to Yama. Yang Hongwu did not care about Zhong Yi and slashed his blade down. Yang Hongwu would not be merciful to such a person. This was the 18th floor of the prison. Everyone who entered here was a sinner. Of course, Yang Hongwu did not doubt that there were good people here. However, Zhong Yi was obviously not one. He would do anything to achieve his goal. Such a person would be a disaster if he was left alive. Moreover, even if he surrendered, he would definitely take revenge in the future. Even though Yang Hongwu wouldn't be staying in the 13th level of the prison for too long, it was still a crucial moment. Yang Hongwu didn't want anything to go wrong at this crucial moment. Otherwise, the losses would outweigh the gains. Therefore, Yang Hongwu wouldn't let him off just for some small benefits. Therefore, Yang Hongwu did not hesitate to slash down with his saber. At that moment, his blood splashed. Zhong Yi's head flew up and rolled a few meters away. His eyes were wide open. He did not expect that Yang Hongwu would not give him a chance. Then, Yang Hongwu checked Zhong Yi's body and took out some useful things. There was nothing in his storage ring. Yang Hongwu was very disappointed. Of course, Yang Hongwu took off the treasured armor and handed it to Bairan. This is for you. You can keep it. It will be of great help to you. Bairan shook her head. It won't be of much use to me even if I take it. My physical body can contend against a great Emperor Realm expert. The strength of my physical body is comparable to an Emperor weapon. On the other hand, your strength is still weak. Without your spiritual power, you won't even be able to contend against an ordinary Great Sage Realm expert here. For your safety, you must wear this treasure armor, Yang Hongwu said in a very serious tone. Looking at Yang Hongwu's overbearing manner, she knew that Yang Hongwu was concerned about her. At this moment, the feelings in by Iran's heart spread again. She felt warm in her heart. In the end, she nodded her head. All right. However, Bai Iran still didn't say much. She just nodded her head faintly. Yang Hongwu was already familiar with Bai Iran's appearance and character. After seeing her put on the armor, Yang Hongwu said, All right, let's continue moving forward. I didn't expect the 13th level of the prison to be so spacious. This time, it seems like we have to find the overlord of this place, the Starry Sky Dragon, if we want to enter the 14th level. Yang Hongwu paused for a moment before adding, That fellow is not to be trifled with. Master, don't worry. What Starry Sky Dragon? I can destroy it. The King Kong Tyrannosaurus said loudly. Cough, cough. Yang Hongwu rolled his eyes when he heard this. This fellow had just been taught a lesson and had nearly lost his life. How could he be so boastful now? Stop bragging, King Kong. You can't even beat Zhong Yi. You were almost killed, yet you still want to destroy the Starry Sky Dragon? Yang Hongwu said snappily. Master, you don't know this, but the Starry Sky Dragon's bloodline isn't as pure as mine. Its level is lower than mine. Although it is stronger than me, it can't unleash its full strength under the suppression of my bloodline. Furthermore, isn't Master beside it? The King Kong Tyrannosaurus said in a low, muffled voice. If one listened to the King Kong Tyrannosaurus, this fellow seemed like a simple-minded fellow with all brawn and no brains. However, if one really thought that way, they would definitely suffer a great loss. How could a person who could cultivate to such a level and survive the 18 levels of prison be a simple person? If it was really that stupid, it would have been sold off a long time ago. Although Yang Hongwu had suppressed the King Kong Tyrannosaurus and temporarily signed a contract with it, he didn't dare be careless. If he let this fellow loose, it wouldn't be long before it broke free from his restraints. You sure know how to talk, Yang Hongwu said. However, King Kong, how much do you know about the Starry Sky Dragon? The King Kong Tyrannosaurus didn't belong to this level of the prison, so it probably didn't know much. However, there was no harm in knowing more. As the saying goes, only by knowing yourself and your enemy can you win 100 battles. The Starry Sky Dragon could become the overlord of this level if it wasn't strong. Therefore, if anyone underestimated it, they wouldn't have a good ending. The King Kong Tyrannosaurus hesitated for a moment before speaking. Master, actually the Starry Sky Dragon is my enemy. Our King Kong Tyrannosaurus and the Starry Sky Dragon used to be in the Dragon Realm. The Starry Sky Dragon here has been my enemy since I was young. No one knows it better than me. If Master wants to kill it, it won't be an easy task. Dragon Realm? Both of you are from the Dragon Realm? Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. He didn't expect the King Kong Tyrannosaurus and the Starry Sky Dragon to have such a big background. The Dragon Realm was the same as the Demon Realm and the Heavenly Realm. They were both macro worlds. However, the Dragon Realm and Jiutian City were almost cut off. Chapter 1017. The mysterious young man Yang Hongwu's physique was the Nine Dragons' saint body. It was normal for it to be of a higher level than his. As for the existence of other dragons, it would be Lu Li. Unexpectedly, King Kong Tyrannosaurus was able to sense Lu Li's presence. However, he couldn't release Lu Li and the others. You're both from Dragonfield and you're rivals. Do you know all the weaknesses of the Starry Sky Dragon? How strong is it now? Yang Hongwu asked. It would be great if King Kong Tyrannosaurus knew all these. It would be much easier to deal with the Starry Sky Dragon. He should be slightly stronger than me. However, with the help of my master, although my strength didn't increase, my bloodline has become more advanced. Therefore, if I were to fight the Starry Sky Dragon now, I should have a slight advantage. King Kong Tyrannosaurus said. However, I don't know if that guy's strength has increased after becoming the overlord of this place. After all, he can obtain countless resources as the overlord of the 13th layer of the prison. Although my strength has increased a lot over the years, I'm afraid his strength is not weaker than mine. He might even be stronger. Yang Hongwu rolled his eyes. It was as if he didn't say anything. It was useless. All right, tell me about the Starry Sky Dragon's weakness. Yang Hongwu asked. The biggest weakness of the Starry Sky Dragon is that its strength will be greatly reduced after it uses the Starry Sky secret technique. That's the best time to kill the Starry Sky Dragon. However, there's no way to activate the power of the stars here. Therefore, there's no way to force it to use the Starry Sky secret technique. King Kong Tyrannosaurus said, activate the power of the stars to use the Starry Sky secret technique? Yang Hongwu was interested in the Starry Sky secret technique. Yang Hongwu wanted to obtain the Starry Sky secret technique. He had obtained the inheritance of the Sorcerer tribe in Pangu. In the inheritance, there were the 12 celestial formations. However, the Sorcerer tribe's archenemy had the Cosmic Stars formation. He wondered if the Cosmic Stars formation had anything to do with the Starry Sky Dragon. The Vajra Tyrannosaurus and the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon were both dragons. As for dragons, there were some dragons that belonged to the demon race. However, these two weren't pure dragons. They weren't true dragons. They only had the bloodline of a true dragon. Yes, rumor has it that the Starry Sky Dragon clan is the descendant of the Starry Sky Dragon. Just like us Vajra Tyrannosaurus, we are also the descendant of the Starry Sky Dragon. Our strongest secret technique is the Diamond Body. As for the Starry Sky Dragon clan, we can draw upon the power of the stars. If there are many Starry Sky Dragons, they can even form the great heavenly cycle-stellar formation. The Vajra Tyrannosaurus said, it's a pity that I can't activate the Diamond Body. Otherwise, I can easily crush the Starry Sky Dragon in the 13th level of the prison. Activate the Diamond Body in your body? Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes and said, it's not impossible. Master, do you have a way to activate my Diamond Body? When the Vajra Tyrannosaurus heard this, his eyes lit up. He stared at Yang Hongwu with great excitement. If Master can really activate my Diamond Body, then don't even mention one Star Barbaric Dragon. Even if 10 Star Barbaric Dragons come, I can easily kill them all. Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, not now. Let's go first and find the Starry Sky Dragon first. Yang Hongwu wouldn't do that now. After all, the Vajra Tyrannosaurus wasn't very reliable. If he had magical power, he could completely refine the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. Although the Vajra Tyrannosaurus was a little disappointed, he didn't dare to refute. After all, he was still under Yang Hongwu's control. Yang Hongwu and the three girls jumped up and sat on the back of the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. The Vajra Tyrannosaurus's body was huge, but its speed wasn't slow. With the Vajra Tyrannosaurus leading the way, it saved them a lot of trouble. After all, some of the weaker guys wouldn't dare to cause trouble. On the way, Yang Hongwu caught a person. He got some information about the overlord of the 13th level of the prison, the Starry Sky Dragon. The Starry Sky Dragon occupied the entrance to the 14th level of the 13th level. In order to pass through the 13th level and enter the 14th level, one must defeat the Starry Sky Dragon. Of course, most people wouldn't be stupid enough to go to the 14th level of the prison. After all, the 14th level of the prison had more experts, and the competition there was worse. The death rate there was much more terrifying than the 13th level. As for going back to the 12th level from the 13th level, that wasn't realistic. No matter who it was, they would have to pay a high price to go back to the first level of the prison. Of course, if one was strong enough, they could do it. However, over the years, almost no one had been able to go back to the 6th level of the prison, not even one level. After finding the right direction, Yang Hongwu hurried toward the palace of the Starry Sky Dragon. About half a day later, not far away, many figures appeared. Yang Hongwu activated his delusion breaker eyes. Looking from the distance, he could tell that those people were powerful. They were physically strong, and some of them had powerful battle pets with them. Among them, the strongest was a Herculean mad bull. This Herculean mad bull's body was huge, and on its back was a man from a year ago. The man from a year ago wore an ancient sword, and Yang Hongwu could feel an ancient sword intent from the sword. An ancient sword intent. That wasn't something that an ordinary person or sword could have. That man had a strong background. The sword contained the ancient sword will. The power of this sword was frightening, especially in the 13th level of the prison. If one were to use this sword to fight against their enemies, they would have a huge advantage. A sword that contained an ancient sword intent could be said to be indestructible. With just a sword, he might not be invincible in the 13th level of the prison, but he was definitely a top expert. Even in the entire 18th level of the prison, there were not many who could withstand his attack. That man seemed to have sensed Yang Hongwu's gaze. He turned around and looked at Yang Hongwu. The two of them made eye contact. They both felt that the other was different. Who was that man? He has a Herculean bull as a battle pet? Heavenly Charm asked in surprise. It's best not to provoke that man. He's very powerful, Xian Ming said. Chapter 10:18. Body Tempering Divine Object. Little brother, what's going on here? Why are there so many people here? Yang Hongwu asked a young man who didn't have much karma. You guys must have just arrived here. Rumor has it that body tempering divine clay has appeared in Wonkong Mountain. That's why so many experts have gathered here, the young man said. Body tempering divine clay? Yang Hongwu was stunned when he heard this. Is it a treasure that can be used to temper the body? Yes. Why don't you know about this? Didn't your elders tell you? The young man looked at Yang Hongwu in surprise. After all, in the 18 levels of the prison, there was only the strength of the physical body. There was no way to use spiritual power. Therefore, the physical body was the most important thing. Once there was something that could increase the strength of the physical body or refine the physical body, it would cause people to go crazy and fight for it. This was because the improvement of the physical body represented the improvement of one's strength. In this harsh environment, only a strong physical body could allow one to survive. Yang Hongwu looked very young, and there were 3 beautiful women beside him. He must be someone from a big family. However, he didn't know about the body-tempering divine clay, which made him very surprised. In the 18 levels of the prison, in addition to those who were imprisoned, there were actually some people who were indigenous to the 18 levels of the prison. These indigenous people were the descendants of the people who were originally imprisoned in the 18 levels of the prison. These people also had no way to leave the 18 levels of the prison, so they had been living here. The young man thought that Yang Hongwu was an indigenous person of the 13 levels of the prison. When Yang Hongwu heard the young man's words, he knew that he had misunderstood. However, Yang Hongwu didn't explain. Instead, he said, "Yes, I've been cultivating in my family. I don't know about the outside world. I advise you to leave as soon as possible." It's said that the overlord of this level, the Star Tyrannosaurus Dragon, will also come. Although you have a powerful battle pet, don't have any illusions. Look at your battle pet. It should belong to a dragon. The Star Tyrannosaurus Dragon likes to extract the bloodline of dragons. Once the star Tyrannosaurus dragon finds out about your battle pet, it will not let you go. The young man looked at the King Kong Tyrannosaurus dragon next to Yang Hongwu and reminded him kindly. Thank you for your reminder. This body-tempering pill is for you. Yang Hongwu took out a pill and handed it to the young man. The young man's strength wasn't strong. His body was only equivalent to the Saint Realm. In the 18 levels of the prison, it was considered a low level. However, it was considered good for the indigenous people who were born in the 18 levels of the prison. Body-tempering pill. The young man opened his eyes wide and looked at the pill in his hand. He was shocked. This is really a body-tempering pill. My God. He knew what a body-tempering pill meant. A body-tempering pill was priceless in the 18 levels of the prison. Even if it was just an ordinary body-tempering pill, it was amazing. Although it was nothing in the outside world, in the 18 levels of the prison, spiritual power and spiritual power were suppressed. Only the body was the foundation. The body-tempering pill was used to refine the body. Every time a body-tempering pill appeared, there would be countless experts fighting for it. In the entire 13th level of the prison, no, in the entire 18th level of the prison, not many people had a body-tempering pill. Even the overlord of the 13th level, the Starry Sky Dragon, only had a few. Therefore, when he saw Yang Hongwu take out a body-tempering pill and give it to the young man, he was shocked. This young man was definitely a nouveau riche, a huge nouveau riche. He had never seen someone give a body-tempering pill as a gift. Moreover, it was given to a stranger like him. Thank you, young master. Thank you, young master. The young man quickly expressed his gratitude. He then said, Young master is so generous. I have to advise you that this pill is very precious. Although it is not comparable to the body-tempering divine clay, it is still very rare. Once the news of young master possessing this pill is exposed, I am afraid that young master will immediately become the target of public criticism. Although young master is noble, these people will not care about anything else for the sake of treasures. Therefore, young master, please do not expose this news. Thank you for your reminder. I am well aware of this. In my opinion, only one of these people can stand up to me. The others are just like chickens and dogs, unable to withstand a single blow. Yang Hongwu smiled. Except for the mysterious young man riding the Herculean wild bull, Yang Hongwu did not care about the others. By the way, do you know the background of the young man riding the Herculean wild bull? Yang Hongwu asked again. I don't know about this. The young man's background is definitely not small. Even among the three major forces, there is no such person. The young man shook his head and said, According to my guess, he should be the same as young master. I am afraid that he is from some hidden force. Young master, do you have any other questions? If not, then I will leave. My strength is weak, and staying here is not a good thing. No, you can go. Yang Hongwu waved his hand. Since this young man did not know the background of the mysterious young man, it was not a big deal. At this time, Yang Hongwu felt the aura of dragons. This aura was not weak, and it was extremely fast. It seemed that this should be the Starry Sky Dragon, the overlord of this level of prison. Master, the Starry Sky Dragon is here. The Vajra Tyrannosaurus raised its head. As a fellow dragon, it naturally sensed the arrival of the Starry Sky Dragon. However, the strength of the Starry Sky Dragon depended on the situation. The body-tempering divine clay was not a simple thing. Perhaps it could also improve his physical body. He had to participate in the fight for the body-tempering divine clay. If he could subdue the Starry Sky Dragon, it would be even better. In the next moment, a huge black shadow covered the sky as it approached. It was a huge flying dragon. This was the Starry Sky Dragon. It had a ferocious face, huge dragon wings, sharp claws, and razor-like teeth. It was a ferocious existence. Wasn't this guy an enlarged version of the pterosaur? However, compared to the pterosaurs on Earth, this guy was much more terrifying and powerful. As soon as the Starry Sky Dragon appeared, everyone made way for it. Chapter 1019. Artifact Region. As soon as he landed, he stared at King Kong Tyrannosaurus. It's you. How did you come down here? The Starry Sky Dragon was in disbelief. My strength is not something you can imagine. the Tyrannosaurus said coldly. Kid, if you kneel down and beg for mercy, I might spare your life. Yang Hongwu frowned when he heard this. He glanced at Tyrannosaurus coldly. Tyrannosaurus immediately stopped and retreated to the back. At this moment, the starry sky dragon sneered. Your strength is far inferior to mine, yet you still dare to be so arrogant. You aren't a match for me even in the dragon domain, yet you still dare to be so arrogant this time? You're courting death, do you know that? At this time, another group of people appeared in the distance. They were all wearing armor and riding wolves. This was an army of the celestial barbaric dragons. They all stood behind the starry sky dragon. Upon seeing these people, the faces of the crowd warped in horror. The only ones who weren't afraid were the mysterious youth, Yang Hongwu, and the others. Irrelevant people, scram, shouted the starry sky barbaric dragon. Otherwise die. Many people were dissatisfied, but they didn't dare to refute. They weren't on the same level as the starry sky barbaric dragon. They wouldn't even be able to defeat his subordinates, let alone the starry sky barbaric dragon. Therefore, although some people were unwilling, they had no choice. They didn't dare to provoke the starry sky barbaric dragon. Just as Yang Hongwu was about to open his mouth to speak, the mysterious youth coldly said, What arrogance! You actually do not place us in your eyes at all. Brat, who are you? Do you know that you're courting death by speaking to my lord like that? Hurry up and kneel down, kowtow, and admit your wrongs. One of the people behind the starry sky dragon glared at the mysterious youth. Others might be afraid of you, but I'm not. You're just a stupid dragon, yet you dare to be so arrogant. The mysterious young man chuckled. The Herculean bull beneath him let out a deafening roar. It was as if the earth was about to shatter. This terrifying power was truly shocking. The astral barbaric dragon was enraged. He was the absolute overlord of the 13 levels. Now, someone dared to challenge his authority and call him a stupid dragon. He roared, Go, kill him. At this time, he didn't even care about his mortal enemy, the Tyrannosaurus. He wanted to kill this young man first. This was related to his dignity. If he didn't deal with it, how could he continue to be the overlord of the 13th level of the prison? Yes, sir. This time, the group of subordinates behind him moved out. They charged menacingly towards the mysterious young man in unison. All of them possessed fierce, imposing auras and were filled with terrifying killing intent. They were like gods of slaughter from the primeval god domain, and they were terrifying to the extreme. These people were the astral barbaric dragons' capable subordinates. They had gone through countless life and death battles, and the killing intent they accumulated was terrifying. Ordinary people couldn't withstand such terrifying killing intent. In this prison, there was no way to use magic power, nor was there any way to use spiritual power. However, the aura condensed from this terrifying, murderous aura was not something an ordinary person could withstand. Even some super experts would be suppressed by this terrifying aura to the point of suffocation. Bang! The Herculean bull took a step forward, and a terrifying force erupted. The entire ground instantly cracked open, and a terrifying force rushed out from the ground, as if a terrifying beast had drilled out from the earth's mantle. The powerful force caused the entire area within a radius of 100,000 feet to tremble, as if it had encountered a huge earthquake. Mountains crumbled and the earth cracked. This was exactly the scene. This terrifying attack instantly disrupted the astral barbaric dragon's formation. His army was in disarray from the impact. However, the astral barbaric dragon's army was also a powerful army that had walked on the edge of life and death. In the face of such a terrifying impact, they quickly adapted. Once again, they charged towards the mysterious young man. Oomph! At this moment, the young man snorted. A black bead appeared in his hand, and he threw the black bead out. It landed on those people, and a terrifying explosion occurred instantly. Yang Hongwu was shocked. Sky bomb? Yang Hongwu said. However, Yang Hongwu soon realized that it wasn't a sky bomb because it required magical power to detonate. However, this thing didn't require magical power at all. It was similar to the hand grenades on Earth, but it was much more powerful than the hand grenades. The explosion killed several people. What is this? Why is it so terrifying? Xian Ming asked. Thunder God Explosion. You're from the Divine Artifact clan. Did you come from the Divine Artifact domain? The astral barbaric dragon asked loudly. Artifact domain. Yang Hongwu had never heard of it. He looked at the three girls in confusion. I didn't know either. The King Kong Tyrannosaurus said, The Divine Artifact clan is a special clan. They come from the Divine Artifact domain. The Divine Artifact domain is very special. They don't cultivate spiritual energy or spiritual energy. Instead, they focus on refining. Moreover, their refining methods are very special. They don't need spiritual energy or spiritual energy to refine. They have special methods to refine all kinds of items into terrifying weapons. The Thunder God Explosion is one of the most powerful weapons. The most powerful one should be the Thunder of Punishment. It's very terrifying and can easily destroy a world. Thunder of Punishment. Yang Hongwu was stunned. He said, Is the Thunder of Punishment also refined by the Artifact clan? Yes, the Heaven's Punishment Divine Thunder is the most powerful type. However, it is extremely difficult to refine. The entire weapon refining clan has only refined 3 of them. Moreover, one of the 3 Heaven's Punishment Divine Thunder has been used. The other 2 have gone missing. The Vajratyrannosaurus said, This time, this stupid dragon is in for a tough time. If this was outside, then this stupid dragon would have a way to deal with it. However, in this prison, there's no way to use spiritual force and spiritual force. The powerful innate abilities of the Starry Sky Dragon race can't be used, so even if he doesn't die, he'll still lose a layer of skin. Yang Hongwu, on the other hand, didn't think much of it. Although this mysterious youth had a lot of tricks up his sleeves, and the Thunder God Burst was very powerful, he still couldn't break through the Starry Sky Dragon's defense. Yang Hongwu could see that the Starry Sky Dragon's defense was very shocking. It had reached a limit, and even Yang Hongwu himself felt inferior. In terms of physical defense, Yang Hongwu couldn't compare with it. Chapter 1020. Ferocious Beast Puppet. Yang Hongwu changed his mind. He had a Heavenly Punishment Divine Lightning in his possession. The Heavenly Punishment Divine Lightning possessed boundless power. It was a treasure that he could use to deal with Zetian. Zetian was too terrifying. It wasn't easy to deal with him. Once the Ancient Domain and Heaven Domain truly merged, once Zetian truly broke through, the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths would be his. Of course, this was on the premise that Yang Hongwu's own strength had not broken through, and he had no way of truly defeating Zetian. If it really came to that point, he would have no choice but to resort to extreme measures. The Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon is going all out. However, this is the 18th layer of prison. There's no spiritual power or spiritual power here. His cultivation base is greatly suppressed. Although his physical body is very strong, it's still limited. This time, I'm afraid both of them will suffer great losses in this battle. The Vajratyrannosaurus was very happy. After all, he and the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon were archenemies. He was very happy to see his archenemy being suppressed and beaten to a pulp. Damn little bastard, you forced me to do this. I originally prepared this to break through the 18th layer of prison. This time, I'll use your blood as a sacrifice for this treasure of mine. The Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon roared, and a terrifying beast appeared in his hand. This terrifying, ferocious beast was actually refined using the supreme, divine Thunder Crystal. This ferocious beast wasn't afraid of the Heavenly Punishment Divine Lightning. Its body was extremely tough. Even a late Emperor Realm expert wouldn't be able to break through the defense of this ferocious beast puppet. Yang Hongwu was shocked. He didn't expect this guy to be an expert in refining weapons. Yang Hongwu couldn't help but admit that this ferocious beast puppet was much more terrifying than he had imagined. Impossible. How can there be such a terrifying, ferocious beast puppet? The young man from the Divine Weapon Clan's expression drastically changed. This is my Divine Weapon Clan's refining technique. No, this is a modified version of my Divine Weapon Clan's refining technique. Haha, not bad. You have a good eye. I once caught a fella from the Divine Weapon Clan. That fella is called Divine Weapon Huang. Although his strength isn't that great, he has extraordinary attainments in refining weapons. This puppet was refined by him. The Starry Sky barbaric dragon laughed. Little bastard, this time you're gonna die. This is the consequence of provoking me. Divine Weapon Huang, that traitor. The young man from the Divine Weapon clan's expression drastically changed. He didn't expect that the one who refined this ferocious beast puppet was a traitor of the Divine Weapon clan. In the past, Divine Weapon Huang had stolen the Divine Weapon clan's forbidden technique. Unexpectedly, he was saved by this evil dragon. No wonder they couldn't find him. This evil dragon was the overlord of the entire 13th level of the prison. As the overlord, he possessed unparalleled power in the 13th level of the prison. As long as he didn't leave that place, no one could be his opponent. Even though the Divine Weapon clan was extremely powerful, they didn't dare to take action in the Starry Sky barbaric dragon's territory because there was an unparalleled power that restrained them. Every level of the prison had an overlord. If they provoked the overlord, it meant that they would have to break through the prison and enter the next level of the prison. That would trigger the attack of the heavenly punishment. They didn't want to face the terrifying heavenly punishment, Divine Lightning. That terrifying heavenly punishment, Divine Lightning, was boundless, and no one could withstand it. Of course, it wasn't like they didn't have a chance. That was the Overlord battle that happened once every 10,000 years. The Overlord of the 18th level of the prison wasn't the only one. The Overlord battle would happen once every 10,000 years. This time, the Overlord battle would select the Overlord. If one wasn't strong enough, he wouldn't be qualified to continue being the Overlord. The Starry Sky barbaric dragon had only been the Overlord of the 13th level of the prison for 7,000 years. There were still 3,000 years left. Therefore, even though they knew that the Starry Sky barbaric dragon was hiding the traitor of the Divine Weapon clan, they couldn't kill him, unless they escaped from the Overlord's territory. Now was a good opportunity. However, they didn't expect that this damned evil dragon, this damned beast, had obtained the help of Divine Weapon Huang and refined such a terrifying beast puppet. They didn't have enough confidence to face such a terrifying puppet. This time, not to mention dealing with the Starry Sky barbaric dragon. Even leaving this place would be a problem. The young man from the Divine Weapon clan's face turned gloomy at the thought of this. This is incredible. This damned fellow actually has such a powerful treasure. At this moment, even King Kong Tyrannosaurus was a little worried. Master, we must help that young man from the Divine Weapon clan. Otherwise, this damned Starry Sky barbaric dragon will attack us after dealing with that young man. Why? Are you afraid? Weren't you very arrogant just now? Yang Hongwu looked at King Kong Tyrannosaurus and said, this, Master, I didn't know that this damned beast would have such a powerful treasure. King Kong Tyrannosaurus heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that Yang Hongwu didn't seem to be afraid or worried. Since he didn't show anything, it meant that he had enough confidence to deal with the Starry Sky barbaric dragon. However, after thinking about it, he felt relieved. Yang Hongwu had a powerful bloodline power in his body. That powerful bloodline power of dragons was the greatest restraint of impure dragons like them. Once that terrifying suppression power erupted, there was no way they could withstand it. Moreover, this master didn't seem to be that simple. He had an even more powerful trump card. In fact, Yang Hongwu was a little worried at first. However, he used the Delusion Breaker Eye to discover some of the weaknesses of this powerful puppet beast. After all, this was the 18th level of prison. Now that he was equivalent to the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, he had obtained the approval of the prison spirit. Although there were many dangers here, he still had some privileges. Otherwise, wouldn't the guards of the 18th level of prison be killed? This was what he was relying on the most. In the 18th level of prison, he had 3 chances to mobilize the power of the 18th level of prison to suppress some experts in the 18th level of prison. Others didn't know about this. He had just found out about it. Of course, even the other elders of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion wouldn't have such qualifications if they hadn't been able to communicate with the prison spirit and obtain the approval of the prison spirit. After all, Yang Hongwu was different from others. His aptitude was extraordinary. Moreover, he had a huge amount of luck. This was his advantage. Damn it, do you think I don't have a trump card? The young man from the Divine Artifact clan was enraged when he saw the ferocious beast puppet charging towards him. He was the young master of the Divine Artifact clan, and his name was Divine Artifact Yuan Xiong. He was known as the most outstanding genius of the Divine Artifact clan. Of course, he wasn't that simple. Chapter 10:21. Yang Hongwu's guest seal it. The young clan leader of the Divine Weapon clan took out a jade talisman. The jade talisman glowed brightly, and a huge seal word appeared in the void, covering 100 zhang radius. Yang Hongwu felt a special sealing force around him, sealing the special energy within the 100 zhang radius. The ferocious beast puppet that was summoned by the starry sky barbaric dragon fell to the ground under the special sealing force. It was motionless like a statue, and its terrifying, baleful chi disappeared. Go, kill him for me. The starry sky barbaric dragon shouted. He wanted to activate the ferocious beast puppet, but it was useless. The ferocious beast puppet did not move at all, as if it had lost its power. It was no different from a pile of trash, like a stone statue. What kind of talisman is this? Yang Hongwu was a powerful talisman master, but he was still unable to see through what kind of talisman seal this was, which really surprised him. This talisman seemed to have shackled the power of the ferocious puppet beast. A puppet was a puppet after all. If it didn't have a source of power, it was simply a pile of trash and useless. This is a demon sealing talisman. It can seal the power source of all puppets. Although your ferocious beast puppet is strong, it's still a puppet. It uses the same power source. Without a power source, it's useless no matter how strong it is. It's a pity that my demon sealing talisman can only be used once. It's very precious, but it's worth it to kill you. The young clan leader of the Divine Weapon clan, Yuan Xiong, had a terrifying killing intent in his eyes. He walked towards the starry sky barbaric dragon step by step. The starry sky barbaric dragon's face changed. He did not expect this guy to have such a technique. He was shocked that his ferocious beast puppet could not be activated. Seeing Yuan Xiong walking towards him, the starry sky barbaric dragon felt a little scared. After all, his strongest technique was sealed in an instant. How could he not be worried? However, he felt relieved in the next moment. He laughed wildly. Divine Weapon Yuan Xiong, right? Do you really think that you've got me? You may have sealed my ferocious beast puppet, but you won't be able to use your own ferocious beast puppet. Your own strength is far inferior to mine. After saying that, the starry sky dragon transformed into its true form. A huge flying dragon turned into a gust of wind and flew towards the Divine Weapon Yuan Xiong. At this time, Yuan Xiong snorted and reached out with his right hand. He opened his fingers and grabbed at the starry sky dragon. Ding! The dragon's claws clashed with Yuan Xiong's 5 fingers, resulting in a metallic sound and sparks flying everywhere. The divine artifact Yuan Xiong was forced back a few steps. The starry sky dragon was also sent flying. Impossible! The starry sky dragon's loud voice rang out. You modified your arm. Yang Hongwu was also shocked. This divine artifact Yuan Xiong's arm had been modified. It was like a refined diamond that was invulnerable. Do you think that the divine artifact clan is that simple? Yuan Xiong snorted. The foundation of our clan is not something that you can understand. That traitor divine artifact Huang is just a bastard. How much does he know? How could a bastard like him know the true foundation of our clan? What he knows is just the tip of the iceberg. The true strength of our clan is not something you can imagine. Divine Weapon Yuan Xiong said as he soared into the sky and attacked the starry sky dragon. He opened his 5 fingers like a sharp sword, trying to tear the starry sky dragon apart. So what if you modified your body? I don't believe that your entire body is made of diamond. Your defense is invincible. The starry sky dragon roared. Its huge body exploded with a terrifying energy. Rocks and trees were overturned. The powerful energy shook the entire heaven and earth as if there was an earthquake. Die, die, die. At this moment, the starry sky dragon was like a ferocious beast. It rushed towards Yuan Xiong, wanting to crush him. Good timing. Yuan Xiong was not afraid. Instead, he showed an excited expression and roared. Let's see if your body is stronger or the secret technique of our clan is stronger. The two bodies, one big and one small, collided with each other, causing a terrifying explosion. The powerful force exploded. The terrifying force blasted the ground apart. It was so ferocious and terrifying. Yang Hongwu was shocked. He had underestimated the strength of the people in the 13th level of the prison. However, it was a pity that it didn't matter how strong they were right now. If they were head out, it wouldn't matter if their physical bodies were strong. If they were to head out, they would only be considered strong if they were strong enough. Unless their physical bodies could reach the level of a Tai real god, they would still be nothing. For Yang Hongwu, having a strong physical body was only a part of it. His own Dharma power and cultivation were also part of it. They complemented each other. If it was only a strong cultivation or a strong physical body, it would be fake. A true primordial, true God realm expert would have a strong physical body and cultivation that had reached a terrifying realm. If it was just physical strength, it would not be possible to break through the limit. If it was just magical energy, then it would be impossible to withstand the powerful energy without a strong physical body. Therefore, physical strength and magical energy complemented each other. In the 9 heavens and 10 earths, there were not many people who could break through to the Tai true God realm. This was actually because their physical strength was not strong enough. In the immemorial era and even the ancient era, there were Tai true God realm experts. That was because their physiques were special and their physical bodies were strong. But now, the heaven and earth spiritual chi was much thinner than before. Their physical bodies were not as strong as before. If they did not cultivate their physical bodies, they would not be able to break through to the Tai true God realm. Of course, Yang Hongwu did not really understand this point. It was just a guess. Yang Hongwu saw the battle between the divine weapon Yuan Xiong and the starry sky dragon. Suddenly, a thought came to his mind. The 18 levels of prison might not be a real prison, but a place for cultivation. It was built by an expert of the primordial true God realm, or even an expert who had surpassed the primordial true God realm. It was a treasure to train the younger generation, to strengthen the body of the younger generation so that they could break through to the primordial true God realm. Chapter 1022. Make a move. You want to temper your body like this too? Bai Ran asked when she saw Yang Hongwu deep in thought. No, I won't. Yang Hongwu shook his head. Although Yang Hongwu knew that tempering his body in this way was very powerful, he would never turn his body into a spirit treasure or an emperor weapon. Of course, if he could increase the strength of his physical body, he could still try. However, it was not easy. Of course, he could also use it as a reference. Under special circumstances, he could try it out. Not now. However, Yang Hongwu could see that there were mysterious runes on Yuan Xiong's body. These runes could be carved on his body to strengthen his physical body. This was not a bad idea. Rumble. The battle between the Starry Sky Barbarian Dragon and Yuan Xiong had reached a climax. Both of them were equally matched. Every time they clashed, they would suffer serious injuries. It was a lose-lose situation. However, Yuan Xiong had the advantage because he had a brute bull as his battle pet. The barbarian vigor bulls were strong. Although they were not as strong as the Starry Sky Dragon, they could still restrain it. This made the Starry Sky Dragon extremely angry. Previously, he had been too careless and had basically killed all of his subordinates. Boom! However, the Starry Sky Barbarian Dragon was still a Starry Sky Barbarian Dragon. It was much stronger than the Herculean Barbarian Bulls, and there was also the bloodline suppression. To savage beasts and savage beasts, the suppression of bloodline was extremely powerful. If the cultivation of the two parties was similar, those with a stronger bloodline would be stronger. In a battle, they would be able to gain a huge advantage over the other party. After all, the Starry Sky Barbarian Dragon possessed the blood of a true dragon. In terms of bloodline, it was slightly stronger than the brute vigor bulls. Although this advantage was small, it was fatal to a true powerhouse. If it wasn't for the divine artifact Yuan Xiong attacking the starry sky barbaric dragon, the bull would be dead by now. Bang! The dragon and the divine weapon Yuan Xiong's claw clashed again, creating a loud explosion. The two were blown away. At this time, the starry sky dragon was knocked down in front of Yang Hongwu. Pooh! At this time, an old man appeared next to Yuan Xiong. His expression sank as he helped Yuan Xiong up and fed him a pill. "Young master, are you all right?" The old man looked very worried. "I'm fine. Hurry up and kill that starry sky barbaric dragon. As long as we can kill him, our divine artifact clan will be able to become the overlord of the 13th level," said divine artifact Yuan Xiong. All right. The starry sky barbaric dragon had already transformed into its human form. It had used up a lot of energy, and its strength was no longer enough to support its original form. "How about submitting to me?" Yang Hongwu asked. "Human." As soon as he said those words, his eyes widened in shock. He could sense the fearsome bloodline power in Yang Hongwu's body. Even though he was unwilling to become the subordinate of a human, if no one were to help him, there was a good chance that he would die here. He was not willing to die here. The human youth in front of him, the master of the Vajra Tyrannosaurus, had such a strong bloodline power. No wonder the Vajra Tyrannosaurus had submitted to him. It was not impossible for him to submit to him. Moreover, only he could save his life now. The starry sky barbaric dragon wasn't afraid of death, but it didn't want to die either. "Okay." The starry sky barbaric dragon nodded. Yang Hongwu curled his lips. A drop of blood fell between the dragon's eyebrows. In an instant, Yang Hongwu turned the starry sky barbaric dragon into a battle pet like the King Kong T-Rex. Although he couldn't completely control them, Yang Hongwu didn't have to worry for the time being. As for the future, he would be able to control the starry sky barbaric dragon and the King Kong T-Rex when he was strong enough. "Kid, step aside." The old man from the divine artifact tribe arrived in front of Yang Hongwu. He raised the battle saber in his hand and unleashed a terrifying killing intent. "Step aside? That's impossible. The starry sky barbaric dragon is my battle pet. If you attack my battle pet, you are provoking me," Yang Hongwu said. "Do you know that you are courting death? I'm an elder of the Artifact clan. If you don't move aside, you'll be offending the Artifact clan. If you offend the Artifact clan, you won't be able to survive in the 13th level of the prison." The elder's face darkened as he looked at Yang Hongwu and spoke in a very arrogant tone. "Haha, I'm so scared." Yang Hongwu laughed and said, "The Artifact clan is not bad, but I don't take them seriously. No one dares to talk to me like that in the 18th level of prison. Not even the overlord of the 18th level of prison. You little bastard, you are courting death. Do you know that?" The old man from the Relics clan made a move. The little bastard was so stubborn that he didn't care about the Relics clan. How dare he challenge the authority of the Relics clan? He had to die. The old man slashed with the saber in his hand. It contained a terrifying power. This battle blade was incomparably sharp and contained a powerful killing intent. It was unknown how many people had died under this battle blade. When the battle saber slashed down, it glowed with a blood-red light. This was the blood-red light, the blood chi that had been stained after killing countless experts. Yang Hongwu didn't care about that at all. Jingshan finger. A cold light burst out from Yang Hongwu's eyes as he flicked his finger. The Jingshan finger required supernatural power to exert its full power. However, it didn't mean that the Jingshan finger required supernatural power. The finger contained a terrifying aura. It was the application of force. The Jingshan finger's aura was terrifying. Even without the support of supernatural power, the finger still contained a terrifying power. The aura seemed to have come from the ancient god domain. It gave the old man an unstoppable feeling. Boom! Yang Hongwu's finger struck the saber. A loud sound was heard, and the old man from the Relics clan was pushed back dozens of feet. What a powerful force! What a powerful emperor technique! The old man squinted his eyes. I didn't expect to be able to exert such terrifying combat strength in the 13th floor of the prison without supernatural power. I must get my hands on this emperor technique. Kid, hand over the cultivation method of the emperor technique and I will spare your life. You're like a toad yawning. How arrogant. Yang Hongwu snorted. This old man is really arrogant. Does he really think that the Relics clan is the overlord of the 13th floor of the prison? All-directional killing fist, invincible. Chapter 1023. Kill. Bang. 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 The terrifying fist force was like an avalanche as it landed heavily on the old man's body. The old man's body was sent flying. Everyone was stunned, especially the people from the Divine Weapon clan. The old man was one of the top 10 experts of the clan, but now he was defeated by this young man in one move. Moreover, the old man did not even have the strength to fight back. This kind of strength and fighting strength was too shocking. No wonder this young man was so arrogant and did not even put the overlord of the 18th floor at his eyes. It turned out that he was not boasting. He really had such strength. Old man, don't play dead. Yang Hongwu sneered as he looked at the old man who did not move. He knew that the old man was still alive. Although his 10-direction killing fist was powerful, the old man was not weak either. His body was extremely tough. If Yishiwen could use his spiritual power, he might be able to kill the old man with one punch. But without spiritual power, it was impossible to kill the old man with one punch. You're very strong. You're the strongest person I've seen in the 13th floor of the prison. The old man wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and looked at Yang Hongwu. However, offending the Artifact clan won't do you any good. Although the Artifact clan isn't the overlord of the 13th level of the prison, we're the most powerful clan and the most terrifying force here. If you kill us, you'll have to fight to the death with the Artifact clan. Haha, old man, do you really think I'm afraid? Yang Hongwu laughed wildly. I could have spared your life. Unfortunately, you shouldn't have threatened me. So you must die. Yang Hongwu said. The saber in his hand moved rapidly and turned into a ray of white light. In the next moment, the saber in Yang Hongwu's hand landed heavily on the old man's neck. In an instant, the old man's head flew off. The old man was killed. You deserve to die. You killed an elder of the Divine Artifact clan. You deserve to die 10,000 times over. No matter where you go, no one will be able to stop you. Seeing the old man being killed, the Divine Artifact Yuan Xiong roared. Kill him. All the members of the Divine Artifact clan went crazy. The Divine Artifact clan was very united. Yang Hongwu had killed one of their elders. That was a provocation to the Divine Artifact clan. That infuriated the Divine Artifact clan. They didn't care about their own lives. Little reptile, how dare you be so arrogant? The Vajra Tyrannosaurus roared and rushed forward. I haven't eaten to my heart's content in a long time. Perhaps the people of your Divine Artifact clan can help me improve my cultivation. The Vajra Tyrannosaurus opened its huge mouth and devoured the weaker members of the Divine Artifact clan. The Starry Sky barbaric dragon at the side also moved, slaughtering madly. He had been too aggrieved in front of the relics. He would not have ended up like this if it weren't for the relics. He would not have become someone's battle pet. That was a huge grudge. Yang Hongwu's master was mysterious and powerful. If he stayed by his side, he might be of great help to him in the future. He might even be able to improve his bloodline. However, he was still unhappy and uncomfortable. That was why he attacked the Divine Artifact clan like a madman. The three Xianming women beside Yang Hongwu also made their move. Although these people from the Divine Artifact clan were powerful, they were still not their opponents. You want to leave? Dream on. Yang Hongwu noticed that the young master of the Divine Artifact clan, Yuan Xiong, was trying to escape. But Yang Hongwu would not give him that chance. With a flash, he executed his footwork and appeared in front of Yuan Xiong in an instant, blocking his path. Young master, weren't you very arrogant just now? Now you want to leave? Don't you think that's inappropriate? Your clansmen have all died here. You should stay and accompany them in death. With that, Yang Hongwu slashed out with his saber. The slash looked ordinary, but it contained a terrifying, murderous intent. It was as if the space was torn apart. The slash did not use any magical power, but it contained a special power. It was as if it could merge with the laws of this space. The feeling was indescribable. However, in the eyes of Yuan Xiong, It was extremely terrifying because he could not block it at all. Although the slash looked slow, he could not move at all. Crack! With a flash of the saber, Yuan Xiong's body was cut in half. The young master of the Divine Artifact clan, Yuan Xiong, was also dead. Everyone from the Divine Artifact clan who was present was dead. Roar! Only the Herculean bull was still roaring. It was unwilling to accept that its master had been killed. Its eyes turned red, and it became crazy. A crazy Herculean bull was also very scary. Its strength was very shocking. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath and looked at the raging bull, saying, "Submit or die." Yang Hongwu released a powerful pressure. That was the pressure of the bloodline, which had a strong suppressive effect on the raging bull. The raging bull was completely suppressed. It could not withstand the pressure of the bloodline at all. It could not understand why the human had such a terrifying pressure. Moreover, it was the pressure of dragons. Could it be that he was a transformed dragon? Even so, it wanted revenge. It rushed toward Yang Hongwu crazily. Down! With a roar, the Vajra Tyrannosaurus slapped the raging bull with its claws, creating a big pit on the ground. "Master, let me eat this guy," the Vajra Tyrannosaurus said to Yang Hongwu. "No," Yang Hongwu said coldly. "Submit or die." Yang Hongwu looked at the raging bull again and said, "Damned human, don't even think about it. You kill my master. Even if I die, I won't let you have an easy time." The raging bull roared and spat out its inner core. The inner core flickered with a strong light. It was about to self-destruct. Although the beast could not use its strength in the 13th layer of the prison, it could self-destruct its inner core. However, it was not something an ordinary beast could do. "Master, be careful." The Vajra Tyrannosaurus was also shocked. It did not expect that the raging bull could self-destruct its inner core in the 13th layer of the prison. The Vajra Tyrannosaurus and the Starry Sky Tyrannosaurus came in front of the raging bull to stop it. However, Yang Hongwu was not worried at all. There was a hint of surprise on his face. Chapter 1024. Snatching the divine soil with a thought, Yang Hongwu stretched out his hand and grabbed the core of the brute bull, instantly cutting off the connection between the core and the brute bull. The raging bull's aura instantly withered as it felt the connection between the inner core and itself being cut off. It was shocked to the extreme. This young man could actually cut off the connection between the inner core and itself. Could it be that he could use his spiritual power and mental strength here? If that wasn't the case, how could he cut off the connection between the inner core and itself? Self-destruct? Hee. Big guy, that's impossible. This inner core is very useful to me. Yang Hongwu smiled faintly. Xian Ming and the other girls heaved a sigh of relief when they saw this scene. They were also shocked. As for the Vajra Tyrannosaurus and Starry Sky Dragon, their eyes were wide open and they were terrified to the extreme. This master could actually steal the inner core. This was the 13th level of the prison. No one had ever managed to steal the inner core of a savage beast. He was the first. The others simply couldn't do it. He could steal the inner core. Moreover, the inner core didn't dissipate in his hands. This made them even more terrified. Didn't this mean that he could dig out other people's inner cores? What if he wanted to dig out their inner cores earlier? The Vajra Tyrannosaurus and Starry Sky Dragon looked at Yang Hongwu with fear. This master was too terrifying. If he was in a bad mood one day and wanted to dig out their inner cores, then they wouldn't be able to resist. Not even self-destruct. Yang Hongwu noticed the fear in the Vajra Tyrannosaurus and Vajra Tyrannosaurus. He smiled and said, "Don't be afraid. If I wanted to dig out your inner cores, I would have done it long ago. Don't worry, digging out your inner cores won't be of much use. Moreover, if I want the inner cores of savage beasts, I can dig out the inner cores of other savage beasts. There's no need for me to dig out yours." No. Master, don't worry. We will never betray you." The Vajra Tyrannosaurus and Starry Sky Dragon quickly nodded. "I hope so." Yang Hongwu turned his head to look at the barbarian bull. At this time, the barbarian bull had lost its core. It had no strength at all. Its huge body was limp on the ground. It didn't have a trace of strength. It couldn't even move. "I'll give you one more chance. Surrender or die," Yang Hongwu said coldly. "Don't even think about it. Just kill me." The barbarian bull said furiously. Since you want to die so much, then die. Yang Hongwu didn't hesitate. This barbarian bull was very loyal. Yang Hongwu was very surprised and also very impressed. If it were the Vajra Tyrannosaurus or the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon, they wouldn't be so loyal to him. Yang Hongwu flicked his finger and pierced the bull's head. Let's go. Yang Hongwu turned around and left without looking back. The Tyrannosaurus and Starry Sky Dragon wanted to devour the bull, but they didn't dare to move without Yang Hongwu's permission. None of the others present dared to move. That young man was too terrifying. Even the Divine Weapon Clan and the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon were no match for him. How could they dare to be presumptuous? Where is the body-tempering godly clay? Yang Hongwu looked at the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon and asked. The body-tempering godly clay was an important reason why so many people gathered here. Now that he had dealt with the Divine Weapon Clan and subdued the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon, the most important thing now was to find the body-tempering godly clay. This thing would be of great help to him. If he could obtain it, then his strength would definitely be able to rise to the next level. It was very difficult to improve one's physical body at this stage. Even using heavenly punishment to temper the body was very difficult, unless there was a heavenly treasure that could improve one's physical body. The body-tempering godly clay was one of those treasures. Master, the body-tempering divine clay is in that quagmire. However, the quagmire is filled with danger. Moreover, the timing of the appearance of the body-tempering divine clay is still a bit off. The body-tempering divine clay is a divine item of the heavens and earth. The only way to obtain the body-tempering divine clay is to seize the opportunity. Moreover, the opportunity is fleeting. The body-tempering divine clay has only appeared 3 times in the past, and only the first overlord obtained it, said the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon. Is the body-tempering godly clay that hard to obtain? Yang Hongwu was surprised to hear that. He didn't expect the body-tempering godly clay to be so hard to obtain. Yes, Master, the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon said. However, although the real body-tempering godly clay is hard to obtain, the body-tempering godly clay is much easier to obtain. The body-tempering godly clay that most people know is actually body-tempering godly clay and not the legendary body-tempering godly clay. The body-tempering godly clay's effect is very good. Although it's far from being comparable to the real body-tempering godly clay, it's enough for a venerable warrior's physical body to reach the great emperor realm. You're saying that the body-tempering godly clay that appeared in the quagmire isn't the real body-tempering godly clay, but body-tempering godly clay? Yang Hongwu was extremely shocked. The body-tempering slurry mud was far inferior to the real body-tempering divine mud. If it could allow one's body to reach the great emperor realm, then how terrifying would the real body-tempering divine mud be? The Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon shook its head and said, Yes, Master. Of course, we can't deny that the body-tempering godly clay might appear here. 5,000 years ago, the body-tempering godly clay appeared here once. However, no one managed to catch it. The body-tempering godly clay is a divine object of heaven and earth. It's very difficult to catch it. Unless one can use magic power, there's no way to trap the body-tempering godly clay. The Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon shook its head and shook its head. When Yang Hongwu was about to say something, he saw a 9-color divine light emerging from the quagmire. This is the birth of the body-tempering godly clay. Everyone exclaimed when they saw the 9-color divine light. How is this possible? It's really the body-tempering godly clay. This is too shocking. The Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon's eyes flickered. The King Kong Tyrannosaurus was also drooling. If they could get their hands on the body-tempering godly clay, their strength would be greatly enhanced. Of course, they knew that it was impossible to get their hands on the body-tempering godly clay. Even if they could get their hands on it, they would have to hand it over to Yang Hongwu. Otherwise, they would have to die. After all, they were still Yang Hongwu's battle pets at the moment. Their lives were in Yang Hongwu's hands. A 9-colored ball of light appeared. It floated in the void and kept flashing. Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes as he looked at the ball of light. Master, hurry up. Don't let the nine-colored ball of light escape. This is the body-tempering godly clay, said the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon. With that, the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon and the King Kong Tyrannosaurus both took action. Chapter 1025. Physical Body Enhancement. Whoosh whoosh. The ball of nine-color divine light was extremely fast. In a flash, it had escaped. They had no time to grab it. It's too fast. We can't catch it, Heavenly Charm said. Her speed was extremely fast. She was the fastest among the three, but she still couldn't touch it. Even the Starry Sky Dragon's speed was too slow. In a blink of an eye, the ball of nine-colored light had disappeared. I'll go after it. You guys wait here. Yang Hongwu finished speaking and disappeared in a flash. Teleportation. This is teleportation. How is this possible? The Starry Sky Dragon was shocked. He had a secret super ability that could teleport. It was one of his natal super abilities. As a Starry Sky Dragon, he could travel through the void. It was a secret space technique, his natal super ability. However, in the 13th level of the prison, his spiritual power and mental strength were restricted. It was impossible to use it, but Yang Hongwu had disappeared in a flash. Teleportation? How is that possible? Can he use spiritual power? Xianming was shocked. She knew that Yang Hongwu had a secret technique that could teleport and travel through the void. I don't know. Maybe he has a special secret technique. Bai Yiran said. Let's wait for him to come back and ask him. Heavenly Charm said. The girls nodded. At this moment, Yang Hongwu was about to catch up with the ball of nine-colored light. You want to escape? Dream on. Yang Hongwu reached out and grabbed it. A burst of power erupted and formed a spatial prison. It imprisoned the ball of nine-colored light. After being imprisoned, the ball of body-tempering holy clay struggled madly. Yang Hongwu snorted and used his cultivation technique to suppress the ball of body-tempering holy clay. In fact, Yang Hongwu couldn't use the secret space technique. But because of the inner core, Yang Hongwu could use spiritual power. In fact, this was the energy of the inner core. Yang Hongwu couldn't use his own spiritual power. At this time, Yang Hongwu took out a special jade box and placed the body-tempering godly clay inside, then sealed it. In addition, Yang Hongwu also took out a lot of talismans. He took out a lot of medicinal pills. With these talismans and medicinal pills, many things in the 18th level of the prison would be much easier. Did you catch him? Seeing Yang Hongwu rush back, Heavenly Charm hurriedly asked. Yang Hongwu smiled faintly and nodded. I caught him. With me making a move, how could I possibly fail? Really? Let me see what the body-quenching godly mud looks like, Heavenly Charm said. All right. Yang Hongwu took out the jade box and opened it. This is the body-quenching godly mud. Isn't it just a pile of mud? There's nothing strange about it, said Xianming. It really is body-tempering godly clay. Starry Sky Tyrannosaurus and Vajra Tyrannosaurus swallowed their saliva and looked at the body-quenching godly clay. If they weren't afraid of Yang Hongwu, they would have snatched it. That was body-quenching godly clay. Once it was refined and integrated into the body, one's strength would skyrocket. Find a place. Help me guard. I want to refine this body-quenching godly clay. Yang Hongwu took out talismans and handed them to the three women. Here are some talismans and medicinal pills. Take them. Talismans? You can use spiritual power? If these talismans weren't activated with spiritual power, their power would be reduced a lot. However, Yang Hongwu's talismans were different. Yang Hongwu's talismans were special talismans that could turn into talisman beasts. The talisman beasts were powerful, but these talismans could turn into talisman beasts. However, they weren't as powerful as the talisman beasts refined by Talisman Emperor. These talisman beasts could only be used once, but the power they could unleash was quite powerful. No, I can only use a little bit of it temporarily, but it's enough. These talismans don't need any spiritual power to activate. If you encounter a powerful opponent, you can use the talismans to resist. Yang Hongwu said. Starry Sky Tyrannosaurus and Vajra Tyrannosaurus widened their eyes when they saw these. There were talismans and medicinal pills. Talismans and medicinal pills were rare items in the 18th floor of the prison. Nobody could refine talismans and medicinal pills here because there was no way to use spiritual power. But this master actually had so many talismans and medicinal pills. Moreover, these talismans didn't need any spiritual power to activate. Terrifying, it was really terrifying. If he had enough spiritual power, who could be his opponent in the 18th floor of the prison? Moreover, once he refined the body-tempering divine clay, his strength would be even more terrifying. It was said that after refining the body-tempering divine clay, one's physical body would reach the pinnacle and become a god. As for whether it was true or not, no one knew. But one thing was for sure. If one refined the body-tempering divine clay, one's physical body would become extremely terrifying. In the 18th floor of the prison, there were only a few people who could compete with him. With a strong physical body and the ability to use spiritual power, it was simply unimaginably powerful. Don't worry. With us here, no one will disturb you, Xian Ming said. Yang Hanwu nodded and took out a formation plate. He then set up a formation. Unfortunately, once the cores left his hands, all the energy would be devoured and the power of the formation would be weakened. Of course, even so, these formations were still very powerful. After all, no one had any spiritual power. It would be very difficult to break the formation. This, Vajra Tyrannosaurus and Starry Sky Dragon were even more shocked. Originally, they wanted to wait for Yang Hongwu to cultivate in seclusion to catch him off guard and snatch the body-tempering divine clay. But now it was impossible. If they wanted to snatch the body-tempering divine clay, they had to break the formation first. Once they broke the formation, Yang Hongwu would be awakened. In that case, it would be a dead end. Therefore, they were helpless. Although they wanted the body-tempering divine clay very much, there was no other way. Yang Hongwu took the body-tempering divine clay out of the jade box. He cut his finger, and the body-tempering divine clay instantly merged with Yang Hongwu's body. After the body-tempering divine clay entered his body, Yang Hongwu felt that the body-tempering divine clay was constantly strengthening and improving his physical body. Even the bones in his body were constantly strengthening. Yang Hongwu took out a core and mobilized the spiritual power in his body. He activated the immortal dragon body and began to refine his physical body. The body-tempering divine clay was absorbed little by little, and Yang Hongwu's physical body became stronger and stronger. When he was refining his physical body, Yang Hongwu suffered terrible pain. It was as if thousands of insects were gnawing on his body. This kind of pain was truly unbearable. Yang Hongwu gritted his teeth. Yang Hongwu had endured this kind of pain when he had tempered his physical body in the past. However, this time around, it was even more intense. Chapter 10:26. Moving forward, time flew by. A day had passed, and Yang Hongwu had completely refined the body-tempering divine mud. He felt that his physical body had reached its limit. Yang Hongwu opened his eyes. He did not know what level his physical body had reached, but he was sure that his physical body had reached an unimaginable level. If he were to face the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon now, he would definitely be able to kill it with a single punch. This was purely the strength of his physical body. The current strength of his physical body was even more terrifying than his cultivation base and his strongest attack, one thought of life. Yang Hongwu even had a feeling that he would be able to put up a fight against the Tai true god. The body-tempering divine mud was too powerful, too powerful. He opened the formation. Yang Hongwu walked out. At this moment, the three ladies were fighting against the King Kong Tyrannosaurus and the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon. It was a terrifying giant beast. Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes. This fellow was like a huge mountain. Its body was covered with terrifying scales, and its defensive strength was terrifying. Moreover, its strength and speed were terrifying. The three ladies, the King Kong Tyrannosaurus and the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon, were unable to suppress it. This showed how powerful this beast was. Yang Hongwu leaped up and arrived in front of the giant beast in an instant. He then threw a punch at it. Bang! A terrifying loud sound was heard. The giant beast was sent flying by Yang Hongwu's punch. It crashed into a huge mountain, and the mountain collapsed in an instant. The place where the giant beast was hit by Yang Hongwu's attack spurted out bright red blood. This punch had penetrated the giant beast's defense. So powerful. This is terrifying. Is this the strength of the body tempering divine mud? Xian Ming and the ladies had just fought with the giant beast. They knew how terrifying the giant beast was. The giant beast's defense had definitely surpassed the late Great Emperor realm. It might even have reached the peak Great Emperor realm. According to the information of the Starry Sky Barbaric Dragon, this fellow was not originally from the 13th level of the prison. It was a terrifying beast that came from the lowest level of the prison. Breaking through the checkpoint of the 13th level of the prison and rushing back, one could see how ferocious this guy was. He could even withstand the terrifying lightning tribulation. But now, Yang Hongwu was even more ferocious and terrifying. He killed the giant beast with a single punch. The body-tempering godly clay allowed Yang Hongwu's strength to reach an unknown height. Yang Hongwu, what's your current cultivation level? Bai Iran asked. Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, I don't know either. I don't think I've reached the Tai true God realm yet. I'm not sure if I'm equivalent to an invincible great emperor. He had never fought with an invincible great emperor before, so he didn't know what level an invincible great emperor was at. Previously, he had defeated 2 invincible great emperors in the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. However, their cultivation was suppressed in ancient domain, so they couldn't display the true strength of an invincible great emperor. Therefore, Yang Hongwu didn't know how strong an invincible great emperor was. Of course, there was one thing that he was sure of. Even if his current physical strength wasn't at the level of an invincible great emperor, it wasn't much weaker than one. I'm afraid that your current physical body is not much weaker than great god Pangu's in the past. Xian Ming looked at Yang Hongwu and said, There's still a big gap. Yang Hongwu shook his head. Great god Pangu's strength had probably reached the Tai true god realm. He knew that Pan Ni was Pangu's younger sister. Pan Ni's strength was already at the Tai true god realm. Pangu's strength and talent were much stronger than Pan Ni's. Therefore, Pangu should have reached the Tai true god realm a long time ago. He might have already reached the Tai true god realm when he created the Great Desolation 3 realms. Now, Yang Hongwu's strength had increased tremendously. His physical body had also reached an unimaginable level. However, he could feel Pangu's strength. Pangu's real body was really terrifying. There is still a big gap for him to reach the level of Pangu's real body unless he could obtain another body-tempering divine material that was comparable to the body-tempering divine clay to enhance his physical body. Of course, Yang Hongwu's physical body was already very strong. He was much more confident in dealing with Zetian now. This made Yang Hongwu very happy. Let's go. We can't waste too much time. Let's go to the 18th level of prison. The most important reason for entering the 18th level of prison this time was to rescue Leader Tian Yi. Leader Tian Yi wasn't just the leader of Tian Yi Immortal Mansion. He also knew a huge secret. This secret could help Yang Hongwu's strength increase again. This was also the reason why Yang Hongwu took such a huge risk to enter the 18th level of prison. Are you confident that you can pass through the barrier of the 13th level of prison? Bai Yiran looked at Yang Hongwu and asked, I am confident. That's good. The 3 ladies nodded. Master wants to enter the 14th level of prison? The Starry Sky Dragon's expression changed slightly. To enter the next level of prison, you will have to withstand the bombardment of the heavenly punishment Thunder Calamity. This isn't a joke. Once you enter, there's no way out. The heavenly punishment Thunder Calamity is very scary. After so many years, there are very few people who can withstand the heavenly punishment Thunder Calamity. The Starry Sky Dragon didn't want to die with Yang Hongwu. What do you know? Master is already so powerful. Now that he has refined the body, tempering divine clay, he doesn't care about a mere heavenly punishment, said the Vajra Tyrannosaurus. This, I won't deny it, but what? You still doubt Master's strength? Master, that's not what I meant. Don't listen to this bastard. I'm worried about the three ladies. The starry sky dragon said, Master is powerful and has a strong body. Of course, you don't have to worry about the heavenly punishment. However, the three ladies' bodies aren't that strong. They won't be able to withstand the heavenly punishment. Yang Hongwu smiled. This wasn't a problem at all. Now that he could use the cores of fierce beasts to open the immortal pagoda's space, he could also open the inner world. He just needed to send the three ladies into the inner world or the immortal pagoda's space. There was no need to worry. With his strong body, Yang Hongwu easily passed through the barrier of the 13th level of prison and entered the 14th level of prison. In the 14th level of prison, Yang Hongwu used his overbearing strength to kill the overlord of the 14th level of prison. It was a sword sovereign. This sword venerable was also a cultivator of the physical body. Moreover, his sword technique was terrifying. His physical body was weaker than the starry sky barbaric dragons, but his sword technique was terrifying. Countless experts had died under his sword. Chapter 10:27. Level 18, however. This also allowed Yang Hongwu to comprehend a powerful sword technique. This sword technique did not require the support of spiritual power. It was a truly powerful sword Dao. This sword venerate was originally just an ordinary swordsman. However, he had comprehended the supreme sword Dao in this prison. In fact, he could have left long ago, but he had not. Yang Hongwu had only been able to kill this sword venerate because of luck. Otherwise, he would not have been able to defeat this sword venerate. After passing the 14th floor, Yang Hongwu encountered different dominators on the 15th floor, 16th floor, and 17th floor. Each dominator was extremely powerful and had their own powerful secret techniques. Yang Hongwu's strength was also constantly improving. His control of power and his own power had reached a new level. His understanding of nomological laws had also become more thorough. His sword technique, fist technique, and blade technique had all improved tremendously. Finally, he reached level 18. After entering level 18, Yang Hongwu was shocked. This level 18 wasn't as spacious as he had imagined. It wasn't a small world. This is actually a small island. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. There was a lake in the middle of the 18 levels of prison. There was a small island in the middle of the lake. There was a terrifying aura on the small island. Is this the small island? Yang Hongwu knew that although there was only a lake and a small island in front of him, it was very likely that there was another space on the small island. Perhaps Leader Tian, he was on this small island. Yang Hongwu leaped up and walked on the water. After a few breaths, he had reached the small island. After stepping on the small island, Yang Hongwu's vision blurred, and he entered a special space. There were countless powerful auras in this space. This space wasn't small, but it was much smaller than the previous few levels of the prison. This space was divided into several regions, and each region had a powerful aura. Yang Hongwu and the others had just entered when they heard a voice. Another newcomer has come. I didn't expect that after so many years, someone would come again in just a few days. And it's not just one person. These people, I want them, a domineering voice said. Old Lei, aren't you being a little too overbearing? These people aren't bad. You want to monopolize them all? Another voice said. That's right, Old Lei. Don't be too overbearing. You can't do whatever you want here, another voice said. Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes and discovered that several experts had appeared in the distance. These fellows were actually able to soar into the air. It was as if they were using some sort of secret technique or magical power. However, their dermic powers were probably restricted, and they couldn't fully unleash their strength. Of course, their physical bodies were also very strong. What Yang Hongwu was curious about was who was the overlord of the 18th level of prison. Where was the passage that led to the outside? Of course, the most important thing now was to find the leader of Tianyi. You two come with me. A purple-haired man pointed at Yang Hongwu and Xianming. No, these two can't go with you, another Scar man said. Scar, you want to snatch them from me? The purple-haired man looked at him coldly. You snatched the previous one, and now you want to monopolize too. Old Lei, aren't you a little too arrogant? Don't you put all of us in your eyes? Scar said. Yeah, Old Lei, you're too arrogant. Although you're strong, if we join forces, you won't be a match for us, another person said. Join forces? You could try. The purple-haired man said coldly. He didn't put the others in his eyes at all, and his tone was very arrogant. You? It seems like we have to fight, Scar said coldly. I'd like to see how much you've improved after so many years. How much you've improved? I say, you guys don't seem to put me in your eyes. At this time, Yang Hongwu looked at the few of them and said, there was a person who came down earlier. Was he captured by you? Yang Hongwu looked at the purple-haired man and said, Kid, this isn't the outside, one of them said. That's right, kid. You just came in. Don't tell me you didn't notice your own situation. Another person said, of course I know my own situation. If all of you submit to me, maybe I could take you out, Yang Hongwu said. Ha. He said he's going to take us out? Everyone present laughed wildly. Even the purple-haired man had a disdainful smile on his face. Kid, you're too arrogant. After entering the 18th level of prison, no one can get out. No one can. Unless you break through the realm of Tai real God with your physical body, then you'll have a chance. However, it's impossible to break through the shackles of Tai real God with your physical body. The rules here restrict it, and it's extremely difficult to cultivate. It's good enough that you can maintain your cultivation without regressing. You want to break through the shackles of Tai real God? One of the white-bearded old men said. Others can't do it, but it doesn't mean that I can't. If you submit to me, I can take you out. Of course, if you don't submit to me, I'll kill you. Yang Hongwu said coldly. Also, whoever captured the person who was sent in a few days ago, hand him over. Otherwise, all of you will die. Kid, you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Let me teach you a lesson. Scar harumphed coldly and grabbed at Yang Hongwu with his claw. Yang Hongwu didn't even look and threw out a punch. Bang! A claw and a punch collided. Everyone thought that Yang Hongwu would be caught and taught a lesson. However, the situation was out of their expectations. Crack! A crisp sound was heard. Yang Hongwu didn't move an inch. However, Scarface was pushed back dozens of steps and his 5 fingers were broken. My hand! Scarface screamed and covered his right hand. His face became ferocious. Everyone present was shocked. The Scarface man was actually defeated so thoroughly. Where did this young man come from? His body was so terrifying. Although the Scarface man didn't use his full strength, he was still able to defeat him in one move. This young man's strength was definitely stronger than the Scarface man's. No wonder the young man was so arrogant and presumptuous. He didn't put them in his eyes at all. Hand him over or I'll kill him, Yang Hongwu said coldly. Chapter 1028. Powerful beheading. Everyone was startled. They hadn't thought that this young man's strength would be so terrifying. Daoba had actually been forced to retreat, and so easily. This young man's strength was beyond their expectations. No wonder he had such a big tone. He actually dared to threaten to kill them all if they didn't hand over the person they were looking for. However, even if he defeated Daoba, he still wasn't qualified to make all of them submit to him. Although Daoba's strength wasn't bad, he could only be considered above average in the 18 levels of the prison. The strongest person here was much stronger than Daoba. Little guy, your strength is not bad. However, you're not qualified to show off in the 18 level of the prison. The purple-haired man said coldly. Your strength has gained our recognition. However, I advise you not to be too arrogant. The 18 level of the prison is not as simple as you think. There are many experts here. There are countless cultivators like Daoba. Are you threatening me? Yang Hongwu said coldly. I'll give you another 10 breaths of time. After 10 breaths, if you still don't hand over the person I want, then all of you will die. Of course, if you think I don't have the strength, then you can try. Old Lei, let's attack together and kill this little bastard. A man said angrily. Although this little bastard is stronger than us, we have so many people. Why should we be afraid of him? Moreover, the 3 women are weak. They are weak. In their eyes, Yang Hongwu and the 2 ferocious beasts were only slightly stronger than Yang Hongwu's group. As for the 3 women, they were nothing in their eyes. They were just a burden to Yang Hongwu. 10 breaths of time is up. Looks like you guys are not willing to hand over the person. Then, I will have to take action. Yang Hongwu said to the Vajra Tyrannosaurus and the starry sky barbaric dragon. Protect the 3 women. Yes, master. Yang Hongwu made his move as soon as he finished speaking. He turned into a black shadow and rushed toward the purple-haired man. His speed was so fast that only an afterimage was left in his original place. So fast. The purple-haired man's strength wasn't ordinary. Although he wasn't the overlord of this prison, he was still very powerful. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been so afraid of Scarface and the others. Let's attack together and kill this little bastard first. In addition to the purple-haired man, several people burst out together. They took out their own weapons and launched a fierce attack, fiercely rushing towards Yang Hongwu. Every single one of them was one of the best in the 18 level of prison. Even if they weren't the strongest, they still represented the strongest fighting strength in the 18 level of prison. After all, each of them could occupy a small independent space. In the 18 levels of the prison, those who could occupy a small independent space were at least at the mid-emperor realm in terms of physical strength. 10 direction killing fist, invincible 10 directions. Yang Hongwu roared and unleashed the 10 direction killing fist. A terrifying murderous aura condensed into the shape of Azurus. This violent murderous aura made people gasp for breath. The surrounding temperature dropped to the extreme. It made people feel as if they had entered the Azura hell. The atmosphere was gloomy and filled with murderous aura. It was as if no one could withstand it. This time, Yang Hongwu used the 10 direction killing fist. It wasn't the same as before. He couldn't use his magical energy. This time, Yang Hongwu mobilized the power of the inner cores of the savage beasts. Magical energy, he can actually use his magical energy. Bai Yiran looked at Yang Hongwu's Shifang killing fist and was very shocked. She was very clear about the Shifang killing fist. If there was no spiritual power, although it could be condensed with murderous aura, and its power was very terrifying, it was far from being so overbearing and powerful. It was obvious that Yang Hongwu had used spiritual power. In this way, the Shifang killing fist was so fierce and powerful. Bang, bang, bang. Yang Hongwu's fist collided with the attacks of the purple-haired man and the others. A loud sound was heard. The purple-haired man and the others were all sent flying. This is magical energy. How is it possible? How can he use his magical energy? The purple-haired man struggled to get up. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and looked at Yang Hongwu. He was very shocked. He couldn't believe that Yang Hongwu could use his magical energy here. In the 18 layers of the prison, magical energy was sealed. Mental energy was also sealed. There were only a few exceptions. However, they could only use a small part of their magical energy. It was far from the magical energy that this young man in front of them could use. It was so powerful and overbearing. They now understood why Dao Ba couldn't withstand a single blow. Dao Ba's strength was slightly weaker than him. However, he definitely wouldn't be defeated so easily. It turned out that this young man could use his magical energy. It's too late to regret now. All of you will die. Yang Hongwu's eyes emitted a cold light. He raised his right hand and condensed his magical energy in his hand. Immortal Cloud Strike. With a loud shout, a ray of light shot out and bombarded the purple-haired man. The purple-haired man wanted to block it. He threw out a punch with all his strength. However, the gap between his strength and Yang Hongwu's was too big. The attack was so powerful that he couldn't block it at all. His hands were broken by the overbearing punch. The ray of light penetrated his chest. The others were also pushed back. So powerful. The Vajra Tyrannosaurus and the starry sky barbaric dragon were also shocked. His strength was too strong. These people were all great emperors, but they were forced to retreat with a single strike. The strongest one, the purple-haired man, was even killed by him. Could it be because of the body tempering divine clay? The Vajra Tyrannosaurus and the starry sky barbaric dragon were jealous. If they could obtain the body tempering divine clay, they might be able to break through the 18th floor of the prison and leave this place. Every expert in the 18th floor of the prison wanted to leave this place. After all, the 18th floor of the prison was filled with danger. wasn't just a simple prison with no freedom. In the 18th floor of the prison, there would be a lightning punishment every once in a while. Under the lightning punishment, many experts had died. Even peak-level great emperors had died. After Yang Hongwu killed the purple-haired man and sent the others flying, he followed up with another attack. He wanted to kill the rest of them. When these people saw that Yang Hongwu was so powerful and overbearing, they knew that they were no match for him. They begged for mercy. "Master, please spare our lives. We didn't capture him. It's Old Lei." Old Lei captured him and imprisoned him in Old Lei's Thunder Crash Mountain. Chapter 10:29. A member of the Guan family. If you want us to die, you won't have it easy either. Seeing Yang Hongwu being so tyrannical and determined to kill them, they were furious. They knew that there was no way to retreat, and they could only fight to the death. One by one, they used their most powerful attacks, erupting with their life-saving trump cards. "Let's attack together. Don't hold back. Do you think that no matter how many sheep there are, they will be a match for the tiger? You must be dreaming. I'll send you to heaven." Yang Hongwu sneered. He didn't care about the fact that they had joined hands. He condensed his energy, and his magic power surged. Using his powerful physical body, he used the 10-direction killing fist once more. 10 directions killing fist, advent of the killing god. This move was the most powerful one among the 10-direction killing fists. The murderous aura condensed into a ferocious god of death. He was like a god of death from the arcane divine realm. With a scythe in his hand, he swept across and killed all living beings. How could they withstand such a terrifying attack? This move was unstoppable. None of them were able to resist it. Everyone was killed. It was too brutal. What powerful strength! Xian Ming and the other girls were shocked. His 10-direction killing fist has already been cultivated to such a level. Bai Yiran was the most affected. The 10-directional killing fist that Yang Hongwu had practiced had already broken free from Bai Qi's shackles. He had begun to comprehend his own Tao of killing God. There were some subtle differences between it and the 10-directional killing fist that Bai Qi had practiced. It was these subtle differences that made the 10-directional killing fist even more powerful. He has already begun to comprehend his own Tao, surpassing the boundary of the laws, Heavenly Charm said. Tao, that's right. Only when one comprehends his own Tao can he truly break free from the shackles and attack the Tai True God realm. Now, Yang Hongwu has begun to comprehend his own Tao. Although it's just a little bit, he has already begun to comprehend it. Once he truly comprehends his own Tao, he can truly break free from the shackles and enter the Tai True God realm. Although Heavenly Charm was just a great Emperor realm expert, she knew about this. Her ancestor was a Tai True God. Tai True God realm is still too far away for me. It's the same for Yang Hongwu. He's just a great saint realm expert. It'll be a problem for him to break free from the shackles of the great saint realm and enter the great emperor realm. His foundation is too solid, far surpassing that of ordinary great saint realm experts. Even great emperor realm cultivators are not comparable to him. Hence, it'll be much more difficult for him to break through to the great emperor realm compared to others. I even suspect that it'll be harder for him to break through to the great emperor realm compared to ordinary people breaking through to the Tai True God realm. Xian Ming shook his head and said. While Xian Ming and the other girls were talking, Yang Hongwu had already killed all of them. At this moment, a terrifying aura soared into the sky. A terrifyingly powerful being had appeared. His towering figure was like a god of the heavens and earth. Boundless powers were rolling and condensing around his body. His entire being was like a gigantic sun. What a powerful chi and blood. What an amazing spiritual power. His strength is so strong. Yang Hongwu was also shocked. This person's strength was really ferocious. Moreover, it was even more shocking that this guy could use his spiritual power here. His physical body was not much weaker than Yang Hongwu's. Could it be that he had also obtained the body-tempering divine clay? Yang Hongwu's face fell. Yang Hongwu was very afraid of this guy. His cultivation was so strong. If Yang Hongwu were to fight with him, it was unknown who would win. If they were to fight, by Iran and the other two girls would be in danger. However, Yang Hongwu guessed that this guy should be the overlord of the 18 level of prison. He reckoned that no one could be stronger than him. That person also noticed Yang Hongwu. He turned his head and looked at Yang Hongwu, saying, "Your strength is not bad. You're not bad too. How about you and I join forces? If we join forces, we have a chance to break the shackles of the 18 level of prison and leave this place." That person looked at Yang Hongwu and said, "Who are you? Why should I join forces with you?" Yang Hongwu asked, "My name is Guan Tianba. If you're in Tianyu, you should have heard of my name." That person said, "Guan Tianba, you're from the Guan clan of Tianyu?" Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes and said, "Haha, it seems like you know about my Guan clan. Not bad. You should know the strength of the Guan clan of Tianyu. You should know the strength of my Guan clan in Tianyu." Guan Tianba said. Yang Hongwu's expression sank. If this person was from the Guan clan, then he definitely knew that he had killed Guan Tiantao. The Guan clan's bloodline could sense the death curse. It would be strange if he didn't sense it when he killed Guan Tiantao. Since he sensed it, why did he still want to join forces with him? There was definitely something fishy going on. Yang Hongwu became vigilant. He looked at him and said, "You're actually from the Guan clan? You should know that I have your Guan clan's death curse on me. I've killed people from your Guan clan. Don't you want to take revenge for them?" "Haha, revenge? What does the Guan clan have to do with me?" Guan Tianba sneered. "Do you know why I'm here?" Guan Tianba said coldly, "They were the ones who imprisoned me. If it weren't for them, how could I have stayed in this place for so many years?" At this point, Guan Tianba's heart was filled with hatred. Moreover, since he's dead, it means that his cultivation wasn't high enough. If he's dead, then so be it. He can only blame himself. Moreover, your strength is not below mine. Even if I want to settle the score with you, I might not be able to defeat you. Fighting with you won't do me any good. This guy was really scheming. Yang Hongwu didn't know if he was telling the truth or not. Of course, he wouldn't believe him. Most importantly, I want to leave this place. It's not easy to break through the 18 levels of the prison. Even though my cultivation has improved tremendously, I'm not completely confident that I can do it. At most, I only have a 50% chance. If you and I join forces, then we have a 60% chance of leaving this place. Guan Tianba said, "You have a 50% chance?" Yang Hongwu was shocked. Unless one had broken through to the Tai true God realm, it was impossible to have such a high chance of breaking through the 18 levels of the prison and leaving this place. This guy actually had a 50% chance of leaving this place. 50% wasn't low at all. Chapter 10:30. The deal: this guy's words could not be trusted completely. Of course, to Yang Hongwu, if there was no way to leave the 18th level of prison, he might have to work with this guy. Unfortunately, this guy did not know that Yang Hongwu was confident that he could leave the 18th level of prison. There was no need for him to work with him. However, Yang Hongwu wasn't foolish enough to reveal all of this at this moment. Yang Hongwu didn't have enough confidence to deal with this guy. Once they really fought, it could be said that both sides would suffer. Of course, Yang Hongwu would not fight now. However, he was curious as to why Guan Tianba could use his Dharma power. There were two reasons why he could use his Dharma power here. One of the main reasons was that he was a disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. He communicated with the prison spirit and was recognized by the prison spirit. Therefore, he could use some of his Dharma power. The other reason was because of his inner core. Only the inner cores of some ferocious beasts and savage beasts could support his majestic Dharma power. Otherwise, the spiritual chi in the prison was so thin that it could not support his Dharma power consumption. However, Guan Tianba was not a disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion and could not have been recognized by the prison spirit. How could he use his Dharma power? This made Yang Hongwu very curious. If he could find this secret, by Iran and the other girls would be able to use their Dharma power, and he would not need to rely on the inner cores of ferocious beasts and savage beasts to support himself. In this way, it would be much easier to leave the 18th level of prison. Perhaps he could find the secret to breaking the limits of his physical body and breaking the shackles of his physical body. If he could find a treasure that could break the shackles of his physical body, wouldn't he be able to break the shackles of his physical body and become a primordial true god? However, the possibility of this was very small. It was 1 in a billion. If he could really find the secret, even if he couldn't raise his realm, it was still possible for his cultivation to improve further. Why should I work with you? Yang Hongwu said, you should know that you are a member of the Guan family, and I am the enemy of the Guan family. I don't have a good impression of the Guan family. Besides, how can I believe you? Do you have any other choice? Or could it be that you're unwilling to leave the 18th level of prison? Hearing Yang Hongwu's words, Guan Tianba was stunned. He could not believe his ears. This guy was not willing to join forces with him? Could it be that he had the confidence to leave the 18th level of prison by himself? No, that's impossible. It wasn't easy for me to find an opportunity to kill the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion in the ancient region and obtain a trace of his source energy. That's why I was able to increase my strength and use my dermic power. That brat's physical body is unbelievably strong. If he can withstand the lightning punishment, I can use my dermic power to open the door of the prison and leave this place. With his mere physical body, how could he open the door to the 18th level of the prison? Or perhaps this brat had some powerful treasure in his hands? Unless it was a real treasure, a top-notch one at that, it would be impossible for him to break the shackles of the 18th level of prison and leave this place. Looking at how confident this brat was, could it be that he really had a powerful real treasure in his hands? There was another problem. This brat's identity might not be that simple. His physical body was so strong that he could even fight against an invincible great emperor. He might even reach the Tai true god realm. Could it be that this brat came from family? Although he was trapped in the 18th level of prison by the Guan family, he knew quite a lot about the matters of the true god realm. In the true god realm, there was a family that was famous for their strong physical bodies. There were many experts who had reached the Tai true god realm with their physical bodies. That was the chaotic Yuan King tribe. The chaotic Yuan King tribe was very strong, especially their physical bodies. They were unbelievably strong. The chaotic Yuan King Kong technique that they cultivated was extremely overbearing. In the true god realm, there was no one who could go against them with their physical bodies. The brat before him had such a strong physical body. It was possible that he was a descendant of the chaotic Yuan King tribe or an inheritor. Of course, it was also possible that he had been sent to Jiuqin City. Yang Hongwu did not know that this brat was letting his imagination run wild. To him, what he wanted to know now was the reason why Guan Tianba could use his spiritual power. Another thing was to find Leader Tian Yi as soon as possible. I naturally have a way to leave. Yang Hongwu said, however, it's not impossible to cooperate with me. However, you have to tell me how you can use your spiritual power. Also, I need you to help me find someone. You want to know the secret of why I can use my spiritual power. This is nothing. There's no harm in telling you. However, even if I tell you the secret, you won't be able to use it. In the 18th level of prison, only I can use my spiritual power. As for you, even if you know my secret, you can only use a little bit of my spiritual power. It's useless. Guan Tianba said, as for the person you're looking for, it's simple. In the 18th level of prison, I'm the overlord. I'm the controller of the 18th level of prison. No matter who you're looking for, I can easily find them. First, tell me why you can use your spiritual power. Yang Hongwu said, as for whether I can use my spiritual power or not, that's my business. That person turned out to be the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. In his body, there was the origin of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, and I refined the origin of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion in his hands, which allowed me to use my Dharma power. After all, the 18 levels of the prison were controlled by the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. He was the true master of the 18 levels of the prison. Since I obtained the origin of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, I naturally could use my Dharma power in the 18 levels of the prison. You killed a leader of the Tianyi Immortal Manor? Yang Hongwu's face darkened. The leader of the Tianyi Immortal Manor was actually killed by this guy. That's not the case. I've been serving that brat with good food and drink. Guan Tianba chuckled and said, although that kid's strength isn't much, he's still useful. After all, he's the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Manor. If I really killed him, I'm afraid it would bring me trouble. Chapter 10:31. Gates of Purgatory. There's no need to look for him. I already know where he is. Yang Hongwu said coldly. The person I'm looking for is the one you stole from Emperor Tianyi's source. The person you're looking for is Leader Tianyi? Guan Tianba's face darkened. Are you sure you're not joking with me? Of course. Hand him over. Otherwise, I won't be polite. Yang Hongwu said, I can give him to you, but you have to promise me that you'll cooperate with me to open the gates to the 18th level and help me leave this damn place. Guan Tianba said, Are you going to fight me? Yang Hongwu snorted coldly. Although your strength is not bad, I'm not afraid. In this 18th level of prison, your physical body is indeed strong. If it wasn't for the fact that I can use my magic power now, I definitely wouldn't be your opponent. However, now that I can use my magic power, you're not my opponent. Guan Tianba said, Moreover, if you fight me, the person you're looking for will die without a burial place. You can try that. Are you threatening me? Yang Hongwu looked at him with a terrifying, murderous look in his eyes. What I hate the most is being threatened by others. A threat. That's right. It's a threat. If you don't cooperate with me, then I'll kill Leader Tianyi. Guan Tianba said, After all, I've been here for too long. If I still can't leave this place, I don't know how long I can last. In order to get out, I could do anything and give up anything. Then I'll kill you first. Yang Hongwu exploded. A saber appeared in his hand. The Grand Mist saber appeared. He held it tightly with both hands and slashed down. The saber chi swept out, as if it could break the void and shatter the world. The saber isn't bad. Unfortunately, it's not a true treasure. Otherwise, I would be worried. A mere emperor weapon is nothing in my eyes. Guan Tianba shouted, I'll let you see my strength. Heavenly Emperor Thunder Fist. He threw out a punch. The purple fist energy condensed into a thunder god. It was so powerful and domineering that even space was broken. Boom! The two powerful and domineering forces clashed together, erupting with a terrifying impact force. The surrounding plants and trees were swaying left and right from the impact. Huge rocks were shattered one after another, and gravel flew everywhere. The entire scene was a complete mess. Yang Hongwu was forced back 3 steps, while Guan Tianba was forced back 2 steps. Yang Hongwu could feel the power of lightning entering his body. However, this was nothing to Yang Hongwu. He really didn't care about this little bit of lightning power. Is that all you've got? Yang Hongwu stared coldly at Guan Tianba. If that's all, then you're done here. I never thought that you would actually be able to block my lightning energy. This is truly unexpected. No wonder you are unwilling to cooperate with me. Guan Tianba's eyes lit up. I can let him go. In fact, I can even agree to one condition. I can give you anything you want. Treasures, cultivation techniques, etc. I can give you anything as long as you agree to cooperate with me to break this prison gate. He never thought that Yang Hongwu would be able to block his lightning energy. If that was the case, the success rate of breaking the prison gate would be increased by a lot. It should be more than 80%. Let him go first. Yang Hongwu said coldly. It wasn't impossible to take this guy down, but it would cost a lot. All right. Guan Tianba was overjoyed. The smile on his face revealed his thoughts. Follow me. Yang Hongwu followed behind him and entered a huge palace. This huge palace was the most majestic place in the 18 levels of prison. It was also the main hall of the 18 levels of prison. This was the place where Guan Tianba lived. After entering the palace, Yang Hongwu found that the spiritual energy here was much stronger than outside. Although it couldn't be compared to the outside of the 18 levels of prison, it was definitely the densest place in the 18 levels of prison. After entering the palace, Guan Tianba waved his hand and ordered the servant, Men, bring him here. Yes, master. The servant quickly brought him up. Yang Hongwu, why are you here? You were also captured by that bastard? The Tianyi leader's face changed when he saw Yang Hongwu. Master, you don't have to worry. I came in by myself. As for Guan Tiantao, I have already killed him. Yang Hongwu said, "You killed Guan Tiantao? Since you killed him, you shouldn't have come here." When the Tiani leader heard that Yang Hongwu had killed Guan Tiantao, he was very surprised and overjoyed. However, he soon shook his head and smiled bitterly. "Don't you know that you can only enter the Tiani prison and not leave? Even an invincible great emperor can't leave the 18 levels of prison." "Master, you don't have to worry. Since I dare to come in, I naturally have enough confidence," Yang Hongwu said confidently. "Besides, you're my master. How can I watch you suffer?" "Sigh, Yang Hongwu, you don't have to be like this. You are not my true disciple. Besides, you are now strong enough to kill Guan Tiantao. Your strength has far surpassed mine. How can I teach you anything now?" The Tiani leader looked at Yang Hongwu and sighed in his heart. Yang Hongwu's strength was originally very weak, but he didn't expect that his strength had already reached such a level in such a short period of time. Even if he activated the great formation of the Tiani Immortal Mansion and mobilized the power of the Tiani Immortal Mansion, he wouldn't be a match for an invincible great emperor. However, Yang Hongwu could actually kill an invincible great emperor like Guan Tiantao. Even if an invincible great emperor's cultivation was suppressed, he was still an invincible great emperor. How terrifying and powerful was he? In the blink of an eye, Yang Hongwu had grown to such a level in such a short period of time. "All right, now that you have seen him, we should discuss the matter of joining forces, right?" Guan Tianba said. "Hand over the origin of the Tiani Great Emperor." Yang Hongwu turned to look at Guan Tianba. "Impossible." Guan Tianba's face darkened when he heard that. "This is absolutely impossible." "What? Are you going back on your word? Didn't you say that you would agree to anything in order to leave this place?" "What I want now is the origin of the Tiani Great Emperor. As long as I can obtain the origin of the Tiani Great Emperor, I will agree to join forces with you to open the door of the 18 levels of prison and help you leave this place." Yang Hongwu looked at him and said indifferently. Chapter 1032. For Element's Dragon Vanquishing Array, is it impossible? "Looks like you're forcing me to kill you," Yang Hongwu said coldly as he looked at him. "You're refusing a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit." Guan Tianba was furious. This little bastard dared to go back on his words. "If I kill you, I can also obtain the secret of your ability to withstand the lightning calamity. At that time, I can also break the shackles of the Purgatory Gate and leave this damned place." Saying that, Guan Tianba took the initiative to attack. A huge thunder and lightning condensed, forming a purple thunder dragon. It rushed towards Yang Hongwu in a ferocious and overbearing manner. Streaks of electric sparks lit up the entire hall. "You guys back off." Yang Hongwu stood in front of Bai Ran and the others. He squinted his eyes and grabbed with both hands. A battle blade appeared in the void. It was the Grand Mist battle blade. With the battle blade in hand, Yang Hongwu's aura changed instantly. Under the control of Yang Hongwu, the cores turned into pure spiritual energy. The light on the battle blade flickered as if it could cut through everything. 9 Dragon Saint Body, activate. At this time, Yang Hongwu used the spiritual energy from the cores to activate the 9 Dragon Saint Body. Once the 9 Dragon Saint Body was activated, Yang Hongwu's body was filled with majestic dragon energy. One after another, divine dragons danced in the air and roared. The entire hall was filled with the roars of dragons. Impossible. Seeing this scene, Guan Tianba was shocked. He did not expect Yang Hongwu to possess the 9 Dragon Saint Body. That was a legendary physique. The demonic dragon was extremely powerful. In the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths, he was invincible existence. Countless experts had died in his hands. Back then, his Guan clan was nothing in Qingyun domain. They could only be considered as a second-rate clan. There were many clans that were much stronger than the Guan clan. However, because of the demonic dragon, several powerful clans in Qingyun domain were destroyed, allowing the Guan clan to rise and become one of the top clans in Qingyun domain. Nothing is impossible. Die. 9 dragons break the heavens. With a roar, a few rays of blade light streaked across the sky. 9 divine dragons rushed towards Guan Tianba. Wherever they went, everything was torn apart. Even the void was distorted. Nothing could withstand this terrifying power. Guan Tianba knew that this was a crucial moment. Yang Hongwu's strength had exceeded his expectations. He could actually use spiritual power. Although it couldn't be compared to him, it was very rich and pure. In particular, the battle saber in his hand actually erupted with such terrifying power. The pressure that erupted from his 9 dragons' sacred body almost made him unable to breathe. Bang! The two vast forces clashed together, and in an instant, the entire hall was overturned. Rumble! The entire hall collapsed, causing dust to rise into the air. The magnificent hall instantly collapsed and turned into ruins. When the two forces collided, Yang Hongwu was sent flying. Guan Tianba wasn't any better. His entire body was sent flying. Guan Tianba wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and climbed up. He looked at Yang Hongwu with a vicious gaze. Guan Tianba was also a ruthless person. He was sent to the 18th level of the prison because he killed several geniuses in the clan who were dissatisfied with him. Just think about it. How could a person who could kill his own clan brother and even an elder of the clan be an ordinary person? How could such a cruel and ruthless person tolerate Yang Hongwu's provocations again and again? He originally planned to join forces with Yang Hongwu and let him block the lightning punishment. As long as he left the 18th level of the prison through the Hell Gate, he would kill Yang Hongwu. However, he didn't expect Yang Hongwu to not give him any face and not trust him at all. He even wanted to snatch his Emperor Skyfirst core. Therefore, Guan Tianba revealed his vicious side at this time. 4 Yuan Dragon Destroying Formation. Open for me. Yang Hongwu's strength had exceeded his expectations. He had no choice but to use his trump card. 4 beads flew out. These 4 beads were the inner cores of the descendants of the 4 divine beasts. He had once arranged a great formation here. This great formation was the 4 Yuan Dragon Destroying Formation. It was a powerful formation that was arranged using the inner cores of the descendants of the 4 divine beasts. He had originally planned to use this formation to deal with the lightning punishment. However, this time, Yang Hongwu was too savage. Therefore, he had no choice but to use this formation. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the confidence to deal with Yang Hongwu. After all, Yang Hongwu's physical body was so strong. In addition, he had the terrifying 9 dragons' sacred body. That was the body of the demonic dragon. He was once a ferocious demon who almost destroyed the entire heaven domain. Although he was strong, he wasn't so confident that he could compare to the demonic dragon. Yang Hongwu's strength was far inferior to the demonic dragon. His current cultivation was only in the Great Sage realm. However, even if he was only in the Great Sage realm, his combat strength was comparable to the Great Emperor realm. Moreover, the strength of his physical body was comparable to that of an invincible Great Emperor. Once he broke through to the Great Emperor realm, how terrifying would he be? He would be a living demonic dragon. He might even be more ferocious than the demonic dragon. Formation. It's actually a formation. Seeing this formation, Yang Hongwu smiled. The origin spirits of the 4 divine beasts appeared and violently attacked Yang Hongwu's battle physique. This power was very powerful and terrifying. Yang Hongwu, be careful. This formation can restrain your battle physique. Leader Tian, he was a little worried and shouted loudly. This formation, the 4 elements of Dragon Annihilation Formation, was specially created to deal with the demonic dragon. It was a powerful formation that several powerful formation masters had exhausted all their efforts to create. It could be said that there was almost no formation in the entire heaven domain that was more powerful than this formation. In particular, this formation could restrain dragons. Anyone who had the bloodline of dragons would be suppressed by this formation. Therefore, Leader Tian, he was so worried. Of course, Yang Hongwu didn't take it to heart. Even Xianming sneered. Don't worry. This formation is nothing to Yang Hongwu. He can easily break this formation. Chapter 1033. Showing weakness to the enemy formation. Yang Hongwu laughed coldly. In the common people's god realm, Yang Hongwu's attainments in the art of formation had reached a new level. In addition, he had the assistance of the formation-breaking pill and the restriction-breaking pill. In terms of the art of formation, unless the opponent entered the Tao through formation and entered the level of Tai real God, no one would be stronger than him in terms of formation. Therefore, Yang Hanwu didn't put this formation in his eyes. Little bastard, go to hell. This formation is the trump card I prepared to break the gate of hell. Today, I'll use you to test it. Guan Tianba said coldly. How dare you embarrass yourself in front of me with just a mere formation? Yang Hongwu snorted coldly. I'll let you see how weak your formation is. It can't even withstand a single blow from me. Yang Hongwu stretched out his right hand. Several pills shot out like meteors and landed on the eye of the 4-yuan dragon, annihilating formation. Instantly, a dazzling light was emitted and the entire 4-yuan dragon, annihilating formation, exploded. That powerful aura continued to spread out, blowing away the surrounding 100 feet. What a terrifying power. The 4-yuan dragon, annihilating formation, had the shadows of the 4 divine beasts. Under the impact of the meteors, they let out terrifying roars. At this moment, Guan Tianba's face was extremely ugly. This formation was created by the entire heaven domain to deal with the demonic dragon. It was extremely powerful. Although he had only used the core of the descendants of the 4 divine beasts as the eye of the formation, it was still extremely powerful. Even an invincible great emperor wouldn't be able to break through this formation. Right now, his powerful formation was easily broken by Yang Hongwu. This shocked him. He couldn't believe his eyes. What other tricks do you have? Take them out. Otherwise, you won't have a chance. This wasn't even Yang Hongwu's strongest attack. Yang Hongwu looked coldly at Guan Tianba and said, Don't be too proud. Guan Tianba was furious. Although he was shouting, he was still contemplating whether he should retreat. After all, this fellow was too strange. Even the 4-origin dragon annihilation formation that he'd set up was unable to deal with him. Even though you've broken through my formation, you must have used up a lot of energy. You're already at the end of your rope, yet you still dare to be so arrogant? After saying that, Guan Tianba's aura burst out once more. He punched out with his right fist, gathering a terrifying amount of energy as he punched towards Yang Hongwu. This punch wasn't his strongest attack. It was only a probing attack. He wanted to figure out Yang Hongwu's current situation. If Yang Hongwu didn't have much energy left, he would choose to retreat. However, if Yang Hongwu was already at the end of his rope, then it would be Yang Hongwu's death. How could Yang Hongwu not know what Guan Tianba was thinking? If Guan Tianba wanted to test him, then he would give him a chance. Yang Hongwu also threw out a punch. This punch, he pretended to be powerless. The 2 fists collided. Yang Hongwu's body swayed, and he groaned. His eyes bulged, but he quickly recovered. This was Yang Hongwu's act. Guan Tianba was delighted to see Yang Hongwu's current state. This little bastard, even though he was still so powerful, in reality, he didn't have much energy left. The previous attack had used up a lot of his energy. He probably knew that Guan Tianba was testing him, so he gritted his teeth and endured the attack. The previous attack had already injured him. Little bastard, you don't have any energy left. Breaking through the formation consumed a lot of your energy. This time, I'll make sure you die without a burial ground. Guan Tianba laughed maniacally. He didn't even put Yang Hongwu in his eyes. How many years had he waited here for? Now that he finally had the chance to leave this place, how could he not be excited? Not good. Yang Hongwu has consumed a lot of his energy. He's no match for Guan Tianba. What should we do? Seeing this, Leader Tianyi was shocked. He quickly said, Xian Ming, Tian Mei, both of you go and help him. The 2 girls looked at each other and took action. Even the Starry Sky Dragon and the Vajra Tyrannosaurus were released and rushed towards Guan Tianba. Haha, it's useless no matter how many of you come. You're all too weak. Guan Tianba laughed. He didn't put Tian Mei, Xian Ming, and the others in his eyes. Even if they were fully recovered, they wouldn't be a match for him. Their strength hadn't reached the level of invincible great emperor. They couldn't even withstand a single blow from him. Moreover, they couldn't use their spiritual power here. They only had the strength of their physical body. He punched out fiercely, and the fist energy enveloped everyone. This was the sky-shaking fist art. The sky's shaking fist was a powerful fist art that he had obtained from an ancient ruin. It was a supreme fist art created by a Tai true God expert. It contained the power of the fist Tao. He hadn't comprehended the power of the fist Tao yet, but he had comprehended a trace of the law. Even this trace of a law's power was terrifying. The power that exploded out was ferocious. Back then, he had relied on this fist art to kill the few geniuses of the Guan family and a powerful elder. This time, he unleashed this set of fist techniques in order to get rid of Xian Ming and the other women in a single move. Seeing this, Yang Hongwu's face changed. His eyes shot out a cold light. He raised both of his hands, and a huge seal appeared in his hands. This was the Life Seal. Surging magical power poured into the Life Grand Seal. A mysterious power was generated, forming a huge light circle. Ripples appeared on the surface of a calm lake. These circular ripples enveloped Guan Tianba in the blink of an eye. Life Seal, one thought of life. Yang Hongwu had used his strongest attack. This Life Great Seal was a true treasure, and a peak existence among true treasures. Yang Hongwu had used his full strength and used the Life Great Seal to display one thought of the common people. How could this strongest attack be weak? A terrifying aura enveloped Guan Tianba in an instant. If Guan Tianba had been paying attention to Yang Hongwu earlier, this attack might not have been able to threaten his life. After all, although Yang Hongwu could display one thought of life in the 18 levels of the prison, it wasn't as strong as it was outside. He couldn't display its full power. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.